went on a date last year.
No.
At Ohio State.
Drip kick.
The
Long
Raiders
Island.
pasta sauce?
Yeah.
I don't see them as a legit contender.
Obviously, McDonough's not beating UVA. Welcome back to another episode of the Mitchell Pehlke Lacrosse Show presented by STX on TLN. Episode 8, boys. We're keeping this thing rolling. We're excited to be back in studio. Last week, no episode. You saw the best of. How was the off week? What did we do? What did we get into?
It was good. It felt long, though.
Yeah, it did feel long.
Yeah, it felt really
It did feel
long.
long.
It really did
really
feel long.
As
I
three
missed
lax
PLL.
rats, when we weren't talking about lacrosse, we kind of miss it. We kind of miss it.
The best part about not having PLL is there's so many new news things that
Lot
we're
of
going to be
new
talking
news.
about
Yes,
today.
yes.
A lot of new news.
Obviously-
The mannequin's back.
The mannequin's back in a different place. Obviously, Dukes is not here. Where is Dukes?
Dukes, I think he's in
think he's in
Vegas. I think he's
Vegas.
gambling.
Dukes is in Vegas
Dukes in
gambling.
Vegas,
We're
losing
filming. We're filming this
using
on
his
a
whole
Sunday.
paycheck, his whole MPLS.
He's using his whole paycheck probably on a slot machine. But we're filming this on a Sunday, June 30th in the morning. And we're going to tackle a lot this week. Obviously, PLL was just in Indigenous Heritage Week in Minneapolis. We're going to talk over, big stars in the NCAA and the Transfer Portal, Pick'ems, Mitch's Mailbox, PLL Fantasy, and some of the top players in high school. I'm really excited to get into it. Week 4 in the PLL. General thoughts before we hop into each game.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I talk about the uniforms, the Indigenous Heritage
So
uniforms
sick.
that they
were
had.
sick.
Were so
Let's go
sick.
down line.
Yeah.
Favorite uniform? I know I have my pick.
have mine,
it's going to be a
too.
little
I
bit
have
different.
mine.
Who do you got?
I got the Water Dogs.
Water Dogs.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
loved that thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I
yes.
just think they were cool. They were designed by, I believe, someone in that Native American community.
Yeah.
I heard hand-drawn, designed
Yeah.
all the logos.
Really?
They were super cool. A couple of them. I love the Outlaws one.
Yeah, I
with
like
the
the
Buffalo.
Outlaws.
That
That
was
was
like
my
kind of like the
favorite.
Wild West
I
one.
think the orange, kind of like the little silver and white tints on the black, I think, fit really well.
Yeah.
And, kind of going into week 1, game 1, or week 4, game 1,
Yeah.
the Whipsnakes versus Atlas. Zeddy rocking, the stick, right?
Zed had the
Yeah.
wooden stick. I saw him running around with that. I feel like, he should have kept that at least till he took a shot off.
Yeah.
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 You know what I mean? Like, at least just let one fly. Even if it's a possession shot, just huck it over the net. Like,
Yeah. We
I
need to
should-
see something.
Imagine you sting a top corner in a game like that with a wooden stick to start
That'd be
the back.
insane.
Oh, it would have been sick.
That would have been sick.
It would have
but
been
It was
sick.
cool. I mean, they were saying on the broadcast, I think Kark was saying, like, Zeddy's been practicing with it. So I didn't know if he was, like, rolling it the whole game, like,
Yeah.
what the deal was. But I don't think he could have done those jump shots that he was doing
Yeah,
with the
no
wooden
way,
stick.
no
It definitely
way.
helped him get the win. Definitely helped him
Yeah,
get the
definitely.
win.
And going straight into that, Whipsnakes over the undefeated Atlas, 16-12. I don't think any of us saw that coming. Obviously, rookies, TJ Malone, Levi Anderson, Jack Corus. I mean, the Whipsnakes are heavy on the rookies.
Yep.
And obviously, we're seeing that,
Yeah.
older guys like, Matt Rainbow, Colin Heacock, Matt Dunn, some of the older guys playing a pivotal role, but we're seeing more out of the rookie
Yes.
matchups for the Whipsnakes. And obviously, the rookies really got it done for the Snakes to beat the undefeated Atlas.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple things. Obviously, we've been pretty critical of the Whips over the 2
Yeah.
weeks. They started 0-2, and they looked rough. But I think now when you're 4 weeks in, you got to really look at it. You got a little better resume, better deep dive into what they truly are. Kind of like
Yep.
we talked about at the beginning of the year, you really don't know. The Whips, let's look at them. They're 2-2. They beat the Water Dogs and the Atlas. The other 2 losses was to the Atlas and the Cannon. So,
Yeah.
like, you look at their losses, and you're like, maybe that's the 2 best teams in the league that
Yeah.
they lost to. And then they beat arguably the best team last couple weeks in the Atlas, revenged that loss, and then beat a very good Water Dogs team last week
Yep.
despite their record. So I think you got to look at the Whips now as a team who's in that upper middle tier, like pushing towards maybe the top 4 in the league, especially with how they go
Do you
in the next
think
couple
we were
weeks.
too hard on the Whips too early?
Yeah, I was going to say, we were very hard on them, and Dukes was never hard on them. Dukes
Yeah.
always thought that they were good. Shout out Mannequin Dukes. 2-2 now. I saw the Whipsnakes being the bottom of the league, but
Yeah.
we could talk about this later. The Redwoods are now
Yeah.
definitely the bottom of the
Hoagie's
league.
team.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I wasn't critical on the. I was critical on the Whipsnakes, but I think they're a different team than they were 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like if you look at what's kind of sparked them
Yeah.
compared to where they are now, it's kind of these rookies, and they've had TJ Malone from the start, but they didn't have Levi Anderson, they didn't have Jack Corus, and they didn't have Adam Poitras for the first couple weeks of the
Yeah.
year. So now you're seeing those rookies kind of coming in and really playing.
And
to
let's
their
not
full
forget,
potential.
in weeks to come, Tucker Dort's going to be back in the lineup, a guy that lit
Yep.
it up last
Yep.
year as a rookie in the league, a guy you guys all know from college.
I think an underrated thing, too, is Joe Nardella is getting more comfortable.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah,
recovering
yeah.
from that ACL injury.
Yep.
He's had a great last couple weeks, going 31 for 31 the week before. Like we said, it doesn't matter. There's no face-off guy.
Yeah.
To go 100% in a game is unbelievable. And then what he did to Trevor Baptiste this past weekend
Little concerns there.
was awesome. Yeah,
Little
and
concerns
I
there.
honestly think, too, Krebs has been great.
Yeah,
Krebs.
Shout out Krebs.
Shout out
The
to
Jasper.
Krebs, the Manhattan Jasper.
The
Shout out to
Jasper.
I do the
Krebs.
goalie workshop with him
Did you?
every
Yeah.
once in a while, and he's firing that. I take shots on him.
Krebs,
I can't score
once
on
in a
him.
while when you watch, he just makes some saves like right when you need one. Like
Yeah.
if you guys were watching that game, I believe it was 14-11 maybe late in the game. Atlas kind of had some momentum. They had a transition. They had I think it was Tyler Carpenter was running down, fed the point to Shelley, an 8-yard step down. Krebs
Big
saved
Krebs
it.
saves.
Like that's
Brick
a save
wall
that like,
Krebs.
changes the game. So
I met
Krebs,
him-
shout out Krebs.
I met him over PLL training camp when I was doing a doc on the Whip Snakes. That's live if you want to go watch it. Krebs, great guy though.
He's
Great
great.
guy.
I didn't
Great
have
guy.
too much time with Bernlord because he's still coaching,
Yeah.
so he was there
Yep.
kind of in and out. Krebs, great guy though. Had some funny conversations about 𝐓𝐇𝐄
Yeah.
and the Jaspers.
Yeah.
But the sign,
How the
Whip's back. Is it too early to tell? Is it too early to cement it, or are we gonna put the hammer down?
I think they're back. I mean, you're
Yeah.
beating the best team in the league, a 4-0 team.
Yeah.
You're the best. Like you're
I think
obviously
they're
back.
definitely back in terms of not talking about them at the bottom barrel of the league.
Yeah.
We know
Yeah,
that they're
yeah,
not
yeah,
one of the
yeah.
worst
Yeah.
in the league. Are they back to consistently on a week-to-week basis compete with the top teams? I think that's yet to be seen. I don't think you can just jump into conclusions after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or after these 2 weeks of games and be like they're totally back. They're the top of the league.
Mm-hmm.
Are they a legit contender moving forward? And do I think they have the chance to be? Absolutely.
But do we still think Atlas is number one?
I still think Atlas is number one in terms of talent. But the problem is what I saw with Atlas is I don't want to say they have too much talent, but they
Yeah.
look like, Trevor was getting a little frustrated at moments. There were guys getting frustration
Yeah.
out there. And that kind of worries me because the last couple weeks have gone so smoothly where they're just rocking and rolling, blowing everyone out. And last week the game kind of didn't go the way they
Yeah.
wanted to, and they had some issues. So
I mean, it's crazy. Just again, if you go on PLL.com and look at the Atlas roster, look how many stars that they have on their squad.
So
like you
good.
look at a Cormier, you look at kind of the big question mark right now with the Entenmann situation. And we'll kind of dive into that, but like this Atlas team could go down as one of the most stacked rosters teams in the leagues.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I mentioned last week that me and Dukes were going back and forth on in regards to these rosters are so competitive and it's so hard to, kind of make sure the pieces fit because everyone's so talented,
Yeah.
right? And this is the first week that guys like Jake Stevens and Peyton Cormier came into that lineup, and they're exceptional players and they're great players. Do you think that could have maybe had a little issue as why things weren't going as smoothly as possible? Because you're inserting new guys in the lineup. You obviously have to take guys out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
that's a question to consider moving forward.
I mean, I think at the
and
end
that
of
was
the
kind
day-
of go to my Entenmann point, and we'll see what happens with Liam Entenmann moving
Yeah.
forward. But it was working with Tim, and he was playing well, and it's tough to just shuffle guys. Even if someone's better, he might not be the best fit at that current. moment.
It kind of feels like a UVA situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Morris and Nunes. If you two are Pressler, give me your response on what you're doing next week in Boston with the
such a
goalie
good
situation.
question.
I mean, to me,
You got to put Entenmann back in.
I mean,
You have to.
I think it depends.
I don't
This is where it stops. To be honest, this is Pressler's chance to put
It's
Entenmann
either-
in,
it's
and-
either
and you
one-
gotta
one or the
ride.
other.
You know he
can-
wanted to.
Yeah, but my point is more like
Do you want to, or do you just looking at the media and saying you want to?
to me, I think you got a lot of stuff in the media, but to me, it's like once you go away from Tim, if Tim, to me, I think I don't have a problem with Liam kind of taking that backseat role. He's a rookie.
Yeah, we know he's got the talent.
We know he's got the talent, and next year maybe he can come take over. I don't
Yeah.
think he's out there obviously he wants to play, but I don't think he's Tim to me. If they bench him this week, he's gonna be like, dude, I'm out.
Yeah.
Not out, but the minute you go with Liam, Tim's done.
Yeah,
You're
that's
not
it.
putting him
That's
back
it.
in.
That's
I
it.
think it's easy.
And if you're Tim
I
in
think
that
it's easier to
situation-
ride with Tim, and
But
then if he
they-
struggles, put Liam in.
But they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, they did,
go
but they
with
did
Liam.
with 6 minutes left in a
But
loss
Miles,
game.
to your
Yeah.
point, can you make the decision off one game? I don't think any of us here thought the Atlas were going to go undefeated. But to your point, now
No,
you're saying
I don't think it's the decision off of the one game. I just think that there was a matter of time until you want to put Liam Entenmann in the game, and they had the chance. They did it. I think this is the time they run with him, just because what was he, the number 5 pick in
Yeah.
the draft?
Yeah, but it's a tough decision because the minute now you go with Liam Entenmann, you're never going back to Tim.
Yeah, but think about Tim, right? Tim's going to go in the game next week. He's going to have no confidence. And then Pressler's going to say, hey, when are we going to put in Liam Entenmann in this game if he's playing bad? And a goalie, like you said, with the Noon situation, it's a terrible situation for a goalie to say, oh, if I let in too many here, I'm going to get pulled out.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tim's had this whole Tim that has been playing bad accusation is just not true either because Tim's had
He's been playing
great
good.
start to the year. This happens in games where goalies, you know what, he's just not seeing it late in the game. And let's not forget, they didn't pull him with the game, tied up with 2 minutes left because they didn't believe in Tim.
Yeah.
I think it was Mike Pressler being like, look, this game's lost. We don't have it today. We're
Yep.
down by 4 or 5 goals. There's 6 minutes left. You know what, Liam, go in there.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good experience for Liam to get some real game playing action. I don't think this was more like Tim's garbage, get him out, throw Liam in. I think this is more like, you know, it's almost like we've had in games. You know what I mean? It's like it's not going your way. It's like, all right, third string midi, like backup face-off guy. I've seen enough. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like,
But we've had plenty of those games, and that's the sport, right? And even Miles, you've had some of those games as well.
That's when I get my time.
Yeah,
that's when I get my time. Like, come on, I love those games.
But I think, you know, to kind of conclude this point, like, it's a hard. No matter what. It's hard. It's a hard.
Whatever
question.
decision he goes with.
You have
has
to,
to be the
it.
decision for the rest of the year.
Speaking of talent on the Atlas, who is the LSM on that team that they said they had 200 points in high school?
Tyler Carpenter had 200 points as an LSM in high school. Crazy.
He's been phenomenal. He's been that.
That's more than Mitch Pehlke in high school as an attackman.
Yeah. From a production
I mean, I think he went to Durham High School down there. He's a Charlotte guy, born and raised. I don't want to say Riverside would have beat him. I think everyone really knows that.
I mean, obviously. Yeah.
But that's crazy. And a guy that's, you know, went to Duke, lit it up there, and now a guy continuing to light it up in the pros, but crazy
from
fun
a
fact.
production standpoint, he's been probably the best pull, for sure the best LSM in this draft class in terms of production points.
Definitely.
He's had a multitude of 2-point goals. I think he's 6th in the league in ground balls. He's been a total vacuum, and he's been phenomenal for them and really fit into that LSM role for the Atlas.
Definitely. And we're keeping it rolling here. Going to the next game, Cannons versus Archers. Cannons 14 over the Archers with 9.
Yeah.
This was kind of like this was a surprising one for me. Going into the league, I would have said Archers could go back to back easy. Yeah. Now headed into potentially, you know, week 5 this next week in Boston, like there's no gimme here for sure.
Yeah.
And I know Dukes here. Dukes is heavy on the Cannons.
Yep.
He would say probably the Cannons are the best in the league right now.
Yeah,
where do you guys land with the second game?
I mean, let's look. It's 14-9. There was the same amount of goals scored. The Cannons had a PLL record 5 2-point goals. So that's the difference.
That was
there.
insane.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Dobby.
But at the same time, Dauber, they had one of the best goalies in the league, and Brett Dobson in net. Now the Cannons to me are one of those teams. They're just so solid everywhere.
Yeah.
Kirsten, net's good.
Yeah.
Matt Campbell's such a threat from 2. Even like guys like Aslani and guys like Ryan Drenner from the midfield all had 2s as well. And you know, Pat and Chris Cav didn't even play this weekend. We're not sure where they were or what they were doing.
I think Pat was hurt. No?
Matt Cav.
Matt
Not Chris yet.
Matt, sorry.
Not Chris yet.
Pat was
just
hurt.
imagine. Well, hold on. Can we pause on that real quick?
I think so.
We're gonna see Matt, Pat, and Chris all on one team here soon. How insane would that be? That's like
I don't think so, because the Cannons aren't going to be bad enough to get a top 2 pick. So I don't think so.
I see. Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point.
But I think, in my opinion, like,
hurt? He was hurt?
I think Pat was hurt.
Yeah.
Matt, I have no idea. Do we have any intel on that? No.
Producer from the clouds. You want to come on in and tell us?
This is his time. He might be in the bathroom.
He's in the bathroom. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Hold
on.
Yeah,
it's a question mark. It's a question mark. No one knows. Undisclosed information. In my opinion, though, I think the Cannons are one of the best teams. Obviously, they have the roster, they have the talent, but I think from a media perspective, they don't have all these stories, right?
No,
Atlas have the goalie, they have the talent. You know, you have the Archers back to back. You have the Water Dogs as like this team that can like always get there but not finish it. The Cannons are like so underrated. They obviously have these big stars like Kavanaugh's and Holman and Asher, but like they're not these huge headliner stars, and that's why I think they're killing it this year.
Yeah, the Archers to me, I don't really as of right now. I don't see them as a legit contender to me. To be honest with you,
You don't see them in the Final Four.
I mean, the Final Four is different. There's 8 teams in the league. But,
I mean, that's a contender. Final Four is a contender.
That is a contender.
But are they a contender by default, or are they a contender like who I actually think can win 2 games?
It's like they get there, but they're like obviously not.
I think we'll go back to this point in this league. It's so hard. Like again, it's by this much. You don't know how.
Now the Archers just concerned me because they haven't had offense production. There was a sluggish game 2 weeks ago against the Chaos that we didn't love, and then this again. I just.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. There's a little thing missing, and something's really not. I know they've played good teams, and you know, but even having a letdown game like they did against the Outlaws, up big in that game, and letting a catastrophe like that unfold, like it's hard to have me really have a lot of faith in a team like that when that's what I've seen. They are, 2-2, so you can't really say anything about it. But I mean, I just think I need to see more from them.
Any players on their team that stand out?
I mean, they got guys like Grant Amon, Connor
Yeah.
Fields.
Yeah, I mean, Trey had a
Graham
good game last
Hossack
weekend.
came back this week
Yeah.
for the first time.
Yeah.
So we'll see what can happen. And obviously they have Sis and Dauber who can get hot and have big games.
I mean, I think that the plus about them is, again, there's no question mark on the talent. They have the talent, just putting it together
they won it
week
last
by
year.
week. And at the end of the day, like just like any other league in sports, NBA, NFL, it's all about peaking at the right time.
It is.
Yes.
And you know, we got Boston, and then we have All-Star break. It's really who's going to really pick it up after All-Star break and continue it for that second half of the year.
100%.
Yeah.
And then going to the next game, Outlaws 13 over your Redwoods 8. Hoagie, take this one away. As a Redwoods fan, what do we think?
I
mean,
am I
I've
right?
been saying it for multiple weeks now. The Redwoods need a total rebuild, a total complete.
It's an old face over there. They need a facelift. They need a
It's a
facelift.
complete disaster in California.
I mean, no.
and I'll say
Let's
it.
talk about this. So you look at Staggs and the way he took the draft, right? Essentially saying,
me-
"Hey, we're taking T.J. Malone. We're getting rid of Will Manny. We're kind of getting this facelift." Now we're looking at it. That's a great move. Does Coach Nat does he need something like that?
I mean,
in
the
this
one
next draft?
bright spot we got is T.D. Erlin. I think has been the best faceoff guy in the league this year.
Yeah.
Dominating back-to-back weeks. He's been good for years. He had a goal yesterday. I mean, to me, look, like when you're looking at the Redwoods, what do? Okay, they have the 5th pick in the draft in a generational draft. Think about guys who went 5th. Liam Entenmann went 5th. Pat Cavanaugh went 6th. You could have had one of those guys on your roster. Instead, we traded away for Chris Gray, who basically doesn't even play.
Yeah.
He wasn't active the first 2 weeks, and we're running him out of the midfield. He has the most points in NCAA D1 history.
Yep.
He's a natural attackman. He's always been an attackman. He's not kind of one of those guys who's going back and forth. Running him out of the box, he's basically not useless, but he's basically useless.
Yeah.
So that's a tough thought there. We draft a guy like Cole Caster, who's not even playing this year in the PLL. He's at Stanford playing basketball when we desperately need help on the field. It's just tough.
And that could be a Pat Spencer situation.
No, we got a lot of older, aging vets, and I love the guys who've been there. Westberg, a legend. Denver Pioneer
RP3.
legend. I love Westberg. His finishing's insane.
Yeah.
Rob Pennell, and even Ryder Garnes, they're all fantastic players. But I think when you look at how these other teams are having success, Atlas, Youngblood, Connor Schellenberger, Tyler Carpenter, even the Whipsnakes, TJ Malone, they're led by rookies. Brendan O'Neill. Even yesterday, we'll talk about it. Graham Bundy had a coming out party yesterday.
Disgusting.
All these teams are injected with all this young talent who's playing well in the Redwoods. To me, like it's been the same team with a lot of old aging vets, and I think it's time to. I'm not saying you don't need to get rid of guys like Rob Pennell or Westberg. Those guys
need
can
to start
stay.
getting
Just
some
to
young guys in with
start
the
getting
old
some
guys.
young guys in there to kind of bring the cohesion.
Make them feel
together.
uncomfortable a little bit.
And
But let's flip it to the Outlaws.
But one more
Wow.
point, and then we can flip it. The Redwoods have prided themselves this whole time on defense. That's not how the league is anymore with the fast shot clock. You need to run and gun.
Yeah, it's run and gun. I mean, it's kind of
like
like you see in the NBA. NBA plays no defense.
nope.
I mean,
It's so true.
No.
and it's an offense league, and I think if your focus is on the defensive side of the ball, that's the wrong focus.
Yep.
And obviously, we've seen that more as teams come on. But
the
now with the
Outlaws.
Outlaws, like they look good.
They look
they
very
look
good.
I mean, I wouldn't
What?
say they look very, very good.
I liked them a lot.
I think they look good.
They do look good.
I mean, and I
Graham
know
Bundy literally couldn't miss the net.
Yeah.
Graham Bundy
it
had
was
an amazing
insane.
game. The Redwoods are, I mean, the Outlaws are still at the bottom 3 in the league.
Really?
Wow.
How are they not bottom 3 in the league?
I think
Who's
they're
your-
They beat the Redwoods. Who
So
are
so
clearly
there
the
eight.
worst
There's
team.
8 teams.
Yeah.
Obviously, 4 and 4. We'll split them in half.
Yeah.
Who's your top 4 right now?
My top 4. Atlas is still 1. One
Okay.
loss does not define you. Cannons, I would slide in there
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
Yes.
As of right now, I'd still have the Water Dogs at 3.
Ooh, really?
And
With a
then
1-3
I would
record?
probably put the Whipsnakes as of right
I
now.
think the Whips of the Outlaws is that 4th spot. It's interchangeable.
No way.
I don't
can't
think
I
put
feel
the-
like it's a little unfair that you're putting Water Dogs at 3.
Why is that unfair?
They're 1 and 3. I
The
understand.
record doesn't matter. Look at the games they
I
played.
know the 1-goal games. That's what
I
has
mean-
you.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing with the Water Dogs is, again, we'll get to that, but Statkathis, that's going to be a.
No,
that's
and
gonna,
we'll talk about that in a second. When we move on. I gotta put
yeah.
it there.
Uh-oh.
No,
Don't
not
let 'em get- don't let 'em get hot now.
Yeah, just on the Water Dogs. The Outlaws are good, but I think you got to look. They played 3 games. Let's not forget it was a miracle performance by Brennan, or they lose the Archers.
Archers
game.
game. Okay, yeah,
and then
that's
they
fair.
played the worst team in the league this week. So I'm not saying that they're not at the upper echelon team, but I need to see them do it against a real team. And in defense, the 3 games they've played so far is the Chaos, the Archers, and the Redwoods. They haven't played the Water Dogs yet. They haven't played the Cannons yet. They haven't played the Atlas yet. They haven't played the Whips yet. So arguably they haven't played the top 4 teams in the league yet.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's fair enough to say that they're in a top echelon in the league. I still think they have potential and a lot of young guys, but I think I need to continue to see Brennan also get comfortable as well.
He had
He
some
had
good
that
points there, yeah.
insane performance, but if you take that away in week 1 and yesterday, he was kind of nowhere to be found at times.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And I think
finding
that's a point we've continued to focus on even since show 1, right? Brendan O'Neill is a generational talent, but we don't see that every game,
No,
right?
we
We
don't.
don't see that every game. And I think that's something we'll continue to talk about and hash out because I think that was the situation at Duke too, right? Like if he turned it on, they're winning.
They won the game.
But we didn't know if he was going to turn it on.
And like we saw last week, he turned it on against the Archers and was like, this guy, you literally has no chance at stopping him.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, it's like, I didn't even realize he was playing.
Yeah.
So it's like,
it's interesting. And I think if they can figure out that question mark, they're going to.
because I feel like there's differences and not comparing them, but like Connor Schellenberger, I notice he's playing every single game. He's diving on
consistent.
end lines.
Yeah.
He's assisting. He's feeding. He's scoring. He's dodging. So like, there's times where I watch the Outlaws game yesterday. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know Brendan O'Neill was in the game.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough.
And then going to the last game, Water Dogs 10, Chaos 6. I think expected, but I want to start with the Chaos first.
Yeah.
Again, it's
Trouble scoring offense.
It's just
6
like
goals. Is terrible.
it's tough. They're not scoring a lot, but I just don't feel like they're that bad of a squad. Like I feel like there's just so many
to me,
question
the
marks.
Chaos are like your perfect 4 or 5.
Yeah,
Like, they're
but
not,
a team that I could still see in the semifinals.
Yeah, but they're not bad, but
Yeah.
they're not good. They're kind of just like that perfect medium team.
Like you're gonna pick them some weeks no.
and they'll get a win here or there.
Yeah,
like
like-
they're the team that finishes like 500 or a game above 500.
yeah.
That's kind of where they're at.
But with the Chaos games, and we've seen this in the past couple weeks, but their defense is locked down. The other teams aren't scoring as much.
Yeah.
So do we see that as a plus for them? Like if your Towers right now, are you even touching the defense, or are you only staying focused on the
Defense
offense?
is fine, but what did I say? It's an offensive league, like I talked
Yeah.
about a minute ago. Scoring 6 goals in a league like this with 32 and 52 second shot
Yeah,
clocks,
yeah.
it's just not going to cut it.
That's not gonna cut
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And I don't want. I mean, let's just think about this Chaos team too, though, with how Blaze Reardon too. I mean, that would be a tough ask. I just think offensively, they got the Rutgers connection with Ross Scott, Shane Knobloch, Jules Henningberg.
Yep.
They got Dauber now running out of the midfield, Josh Byrne. But it's just the offense is.
It's I think it's like one of the biggest question mark teams right now.
Yeah, because the
there's
Chaos,
not like a
I
certain
honestly
point.
don't know what I'm getting with them.
Yeah,
on a week
and
basis.
it's not like a Atlas or a Water Dog situation. It's like, or excuse me, Whip Snake situation.
yeah.
You just don't really know. But then going on the Whip Snakes, like they look good. And
Yeah,
I
the
know
Water
they're
Dogs.
Water
yeah,
Dogs,
sorry.
Water Dogs, yeah, yeah.
And the Water Dogs, they look good. Like I know we said 1 and 3, this and that, but they definitely again have the talent. They're putting together. And talk to us about the face-off, Hoagie.
Yeah, I mean, I think Stathakis, I think was around 41%. So still, Rowlett did a great job for the Chaos, and it's to be expected. Stathakis' first game, but I mean, I think going 40% is better than 0, right?
Yep,
absolutely.
They said on the podcast, not the podcast, the show, or the game yesterday that, if you really looked at the metrics, how many goals do you think through the Water Dogs' first 3 games, right? That went 0-3. How many goals did the teams actually get on that first possession?
I know the number. I'm not gonna say. I want to hear Mitch's guess.
Can you tell me how many
So it
goals
was
there
75 possessions, right?
Yeah.
You said-
How many? They had 7. There were 75 possessions the offensive team had.
Yeah.
Off the face.
Yes.
How many times did the team actually score against the Water Dogs?
were? It's really low.
It's low.
Yeah, like 5?
A little higher.
11.
11.
Wow.
So
I mean, because that was the whole bit with Tierney when we talked about last week.
so
Like,
when you look
he
at the
wasn't
numbers,
huge
they
on it.
kind of do support what Tierney was saying.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think with Stathakis here, going 40% is better than 0. Right?
Yeah, and we talked to Rabel about having the ball offensively. You're gonna be more comfortable as an offense when the ball is on your side.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're gonna be less weary of making mistakes when your team has the ball, rather than every single time you see the ball going the other end and then it comes back eventually, hopefully.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I'm
it stops runs too. Let's
Yeah.
talk about it that way. Water Dogs giving up, maybe a goal or 2. You're sitting there as a defense, you're like, damn, we got to get a stop before we get the ball back. You know, it's like that kind of vibe with that face-off guy. Like, it can stop runs, it can stop massive
Absolutely.
momentum swings in the game.
Yeah.
So it's just big.
I mean, hey, but big shout out, Coach Tierney. First W.
First up.
First W.
the pioneer legend taking it to the PLL.
legend. I mean, we obviously know
Princeton
what he did at
PLL
Princeton
legends,
as well, too.
Princeton PLL legends.
Can't forget that.
So, big shout out to you, Coach T. But I think we go into a little NCAA Transfer Portal
do it.
news. That's a wrap on Week 4 for the PLL Transfer Portal news. In your opinion, let's not even get into the guys that have been recent.
Yeah.
Who has been your guys, and we'll go down the list, that's been the biggest impact transfer-wise, obviously going from school to school. who's going to obviously be a big impact in 2025.
Yeah, I think for me, I think you start with 𝐓𝐇𝐄 going over to UNC.
Yeah,
Obviously,
that's huge.
Yeah.
you know, they've had the block in their net the last couple of years for UNC, so they haven't really needed to like dip into their toes there. But getting a guy like 𝐓𝐇𝐄 as an All-American, stepping in there has been huge for Bresci. To kind of fill that role by that Colin Krieg left.
Yeah, and they have stars on stars.
Stars on stars.
UNC is gonna be good.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna be good?
Yes,
I don't know.
they're one of my
It's
early
going to be
favorites.
it's going
Early
to be the same
favorites?
situation.
I like
Really?
them a lot.
Wow.
In the ACC, you don't like them that much?
I don't like them that much.
I think
they're
they
like
could-
Okay,
I
let's
think they
rank
can beat
the
UVA this
ACC right now.
ACC right now. Notre Dame still one.
Notre
Yeah,
Dame
still
won.
one. That's a lot.
Virginia 2.
Yep.
Okay.
I like that.
I'd
At
still
Duke.
go with Syracuse 3.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
I
Duke,
kind of like
Duke
UNC.
4 and UNC 5 right now.
I'd still put UNC last.
Yeah.
Where do you put them?
I'm gonna put UNC at as of right now. Okay, yeah. So it goes Notre Dame. Oh, it was Syracuse at 2, or was that?
This was
not
this
in
past
order?
year.
That was just the ACC
This is
tournament.
the ACC
Oh, the
tournament.
ACC.
yeah.
Okay, so then I'm gonna go. I like UNC over Duke this year, and they're gonna be the 4th best team. So like they're still haven't moved.
Second to last.
Wait,
Second to
wait,
last,
wait,
but it's
Miles.
the
Who are you putting last? Don't tell me Duke.
Duke's last.
Wow.
Duke's last.
But
Miles Dubois.
Duke's last
Can I
ACC
get
year.
some like background on why you think UNC is
I think they're just losing so much talent. And
UNC is losing so much talent?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Duke.
No, but like why are you high on UNC?
I'm high on UNC because I've been talking to some of the players on the team.
Uh-oh.
Not gonna name
Insider
them, not gonna name
information.
them.
Can you give us some other tips?
They have 𝐓𝐇𝐄 in the goal. I mean, they have the best, or Will Lynch is back, but the second best face-off guy in potentially college lacrosse with Wambach.
Yep. Brady.
Attack is now getting older. Owen Duffy, I mean, he's huge on Owen Duffy.
Yeah.
I love Owen
I mean, he's a
Duffy.
great
Yeah.
player. There's no,
I mean,
there's no
And
shade
then
there.
Petromala, I think, is going to find his own this
I
year.
mean, my only pushback on that would be that let's look. They had that basically that same team this year, same
I know.
face-off
but
guy.
they're all getting older.
Colin Krieg and 𝐓𝐇𝐄. I don't want to say are a wash, but like let's just say like
Yeah, I mean,
like
they're
on the
two
same
great
level.
levels. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they had all that last year, and they were pretty bad. So
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
But
no, I
I
definitely
like
think with
them.
guys
I think
like,
it's a
I like
situation.
no, and Owen Duffy being in his second year, like you said,
Yeah.
Dom,
Yeah.
all those guys,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
completely agree, Miles.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be good.
But I just forget
think-
how good the ACC
And I
is.
think you
Yeah.
forget how
Yeah.
good Duke
Yeah.
is too, because
Yeah.
Duke's bringing in great impact transfers, guys like Aiden Blake,
Yeah.
like we talked about last time, even bringing in Maliver from
Tommy
Maryland,
Drago as well. From
yeah,
Cuse.
like they're
That's
going to be
insane,
good
yeah.
too. So like, I mean, the ACC is always tough. I think Notre Dame and Virginia, Syracuse are like the clear top 3. I agree.
Yeah.
I think Duke and UNC are kind of going to duke it out at the bottom
Yeah.
of that just for a year.
I mean, UVA's also lost some talent too. So.
Yeah,
but I'm
definitely.
never betting against Laura's.
I know,
can't
and that
bet
kind of
against
goes to my point. Like, I think the biggest impact for me was Charles.
Yeah.
Balsamo.
You know, he's just such a versatile player where you can put him up top, you can
Yep.
put him below, and I just think with the Lars being a wizard,
Yeah.
you just never know what's going to end up happening. So I got Charles, you got Mikey, and who do you got, Miles?
Drip King. No, I'm
Really?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We'll hit on that.
No,
a little
I
bit
do
later.
I like 𝐓𝐇𝐄.
Yeah.
That's a good
I
one.
also think another underrated transfer is Luke Stout going to Hopkins from
Yeah.
Loyola. He
Yeah.
was great at Loyola.
He was great.
Yeah.
Hopkins needs that goalie
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
going right down Charles Street, as
Yeah.
they'd say.
Yeah, and
I wonder
and
how
two
that's
guys
gonna-
though. Yeah, our guy.
Yeah.
We had an Orange
I wonder how
Alliance at
that's gonna
Ohio
go.
State.
I wonder how that's going to go.
And then now they have
Going out
Luke.
at backyard
or
and stuff
Luke,
like that
yeah.
down in now he's rolling in with the Hopkins boys.
You got Loyola, and then you got Hopkins. 10 minutes down the
You're
road,
going
going
to
to the
the
same
same
bars,
bars.
going
Yeah,
to the same
that's
house
insane.
parties.
That's insane.
Is there gonna be any beef there? you think?
That's what I'm
Absolutely.
asking. That's what I'm
Yes,
asking.
they play each
Okay,
other every
okay.
year,
Let's
too.
say you two are Loyola guys, and I'm Big Luke, now at Hopkins, and we're going to backyard down there in Towson. What are you saying to me? And I got a nice tequila soda with lime in my
I
hand.
mean, that's
I just
a
don't
little
What are you
think I
saying to
say
me?
anything.
What are
You
you
can't
saying
say
to me?
anything.
Nah,
You're
I
not.
mean,
It's
You're
hard.
definitely.
obviously you're
you're
gonna dap
definitely-
him up, but I don't think you're gonna stay around. You
Yeah,
know what I
Oh,
mean?
really? You dap him up? I think I just give him a
You
little
gotta
side
dap
eye.
him up.
It's your boy. I mean,
boy.
Okay,
it's-
if it's our boy, then
yeah. I think you got to dap him
gotta
up.
dap
Just give him a nice little 1-2. And then
Yeah.
That's just one of those transfers where it's like you're transferred to Hopkins, and honestly, your life really doesn't change other than where you're playing.
Yeah, literally. The
no.
colors.
Like
I
the
mean,
colors
school,
and where you're
yeah,
practicing, like
yeah.
your social scene, like
Yeah.
all that.
Social scene's the same.
No.
The weather's the same.
like
literally.
like the
But
same.
you can win
5
games.
guys, you go
You're gonna
get
win
wheels
more
in your
games.
butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to win more games. You're going to be
Yeah.
playing in the Big
Yeah,
Ten.
yeah,
It's a
but-
huge step for anybody. That's
It's a
No,
huge step
yeah.
lacrosse
Yeah.
wise. It's a huge
Lacrosse-wise.
step lacrosse
Yeah.
wise. But everything else is obviously
But
very
I also
different.
think I'll touch on the 2 Ohio State cats, Sam Burns
Legend.
and Matt Caputo, both going up to Boston.
Yeah.
joining Buddy the Elf up there in Boston.
Matty Fritz, the legend.
Joining Fritzy.
Two Ohio State guys we played with, Sam Burns and Matty Caputo, going to Boston.
Both going to be solid players. Caputo,
Both going to be solid players.
Burnsy, big body guy. We saw him
Yeah.
on the scout team playing well. He's downhill dodger kind of
Yeah.
guy. He's got a good body. And then Caputo's kind of one of those guys when you see him play, he's got, a lot of talent.
Yeah.
He'll make some wow plays.
Yeah,
for
a
you.
guy
Like,
that you
wow.
don't want to put in a box. I truly feel just roll the ball, let him play, and
Let him
he's
play.
going to, throw some Lyle Thompson,
see.
throw some BTBs, put it left and the right. I think it'll be good.
So what do you
And,
think of best portal class? Who do you think had best portal class?
dude, honestly, I think Boston might be up there.
Boston?
'Cause
Or
they-
just the two gets?
What? No, I thought they had more than that. I thought they had.
think they do.
They just got Burns and
Just two guys.
Caputo, yeah.
Oh, okay then.
I
don't
would
know.
probably say honestly though, like
Who's worked at the
I
most?
don't want to take like teams like Duke, Maryland. I think Maryland had a great class. Adding like Jack Dowd, adding the guy
it's
from
definitely
The
Maryland.
guy from Binghamton.
Yeah. It's we're blanking on his name.
What's his name? Keegan.
Yeah, Keegan.
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 Oh, yeah.
AJ Hernandez, Jack Dowd,
I think
and
it'll probably be Maryland.
no, I think that's it.
They got Bryce Ford from.
Oh, because I'm
Fairfield,
thinking
too.
Maliver transferred out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's-
no,
that's
I
a
think
bad
that. But
transfer
like
out.
those
Yeah.
are great. That's probably the best overall transfer class. But like
Yeah, but we were with Daniel Kelly too this past 2 days at the camp.
Daniel Kelly's come back for a fifth year.
Daniel Kelly's coming back.
Yeah.
And Jack McDonald's coming back.
Jack McDonald, they got a lot of depth coming back. But like guys like, I will say though, talking transfer portal classes, guys like Burns and Caputo, that's like how teams like Boston kind of, you know, it's a small class, but like
Yeah.
those are two pieces that I think they'll be juniors next year
Yep.
playing. That's like that can help you get to a
Yeah.
next level team. Like those, a lot of times we look at like the stars and who Maryland got and all
Yeah.
them, right? But the lower levels, not the lower level schools, but the teams like Boston, when you get like impact transfers like
Yeah.
that, that's so big for your team because
Yeah.
guys like Maryland honestly don't really need those transfers. They're more there for depth and just like another
The
nice
five-star.
new
Yeah,
toy to
yeah.
add to the
Yeah.
to the garage or
Yeah.
a nice
Yeah,
new
yeah, yeah.
Ferrari you're bringing.
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah.
But
No, seriously though, I think I'm most excited about Big Jack from Salisbury.
Yeah.
I was
I
obviously
think
with
he's
him
gonna
this
do
past
well.
fall doing the Salisbury doc. He's legit, dude.
Yeah,
he's
he's
like
good.
6'4",
Yeah.
downhill. Was at Furman. Obviously, the program got canceled. So then he's automatically in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Goes to Salisbury, lights it up, national championship. And now in his 6th year playing at Maryland, I think will fit in well. And again, like Tills and Lars are two guys I never
Never
question.
against them.
Yeah, you can't bet against
And it's
them.
so cool to see the D3 guys going D1,
Yeah.
making that next step. Obviously, he was D1 at Furman. But
Any other D3 guys
Yeah,
making the jump to
I gotta
D1?
give a little shout out to one of my teammates, Jack Savarese, our righty
Italian?
backman. I think it might be French.
French.
I think so. I don't know.
Savarese.
No, yeah, because I say Savarese, and he's like, I'm not Italian, dude.
Oh.
I'm like, all right. But yeah, he's going to Fairfield. So
Yeah,
that's
Okay.
really
Can
cool
you
to
give
see.
me a little, Miles, like little inside track here on like, so Steven, what grade is this? He is a graduate?
So yeah, he just finished his senior year. Now he has technically 2 years.
So he's okay. So like, how does this work with guys at Stevens like transferring? Like, are these guys like, how does him going to D1 kind of materialize? Is it your coaches are like, you can enter the portal if you want to take a look. Like, are they like promoting you, like trying to go to the next
I
level?
don't think it is promoting.
I'm
I don't-
curious to
no,
see
it's
how it
definitely
goes from a
not-
D3
it's definitely
level.
not promoting. I think it's just these kids, and you guys played your D1 dream,
Yeah.
but all of us as kids have the D1 dream.
Yeah.
And it's like, for the
How do
little
you
kid-
guys look at D1 like as still like as a
Yes,
D3
as
player?
still
You're
as a
like,
dream.
Yeah.
It's- For some guys, yes. Some guys, no. And it's like, for the little kid in the backyard in
Yeah.
3rd grade that was working his tail off to go play at Duke or Notre Dame, just in the highest level of lacrosse. Like,
Yeah.
you want to do it for that.
Yeah, but
kid.
how is that decision? Like, kind of, is it? I don't want to say like the coaches are promoting it, but like at a lot of D1 schools, if you hit the portal, it's like, okay, see you, you're not coming back.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
is it easier at like
no,
a
I
Stevens
think
where
people
like,
can enter the portal.
like
and
if he
come
entered the
back.
portal and didn't get anything, they would
Yeah,
be fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
say
So
come
that's
I
what
think talent at the D3 level is hard to come by, right?
And I think
Yeah.
that's fair to test the waters too at a D3 school like that. It's not a knock on D3 schools, but I think it's fair if you have a great year and you can go to a D1 school or something like that. Like I think
It's kind of like
the
opening
coaches
it
should
up,
like,
see what
wow,
happens.
see what happens, and if
Yeah.
not, it's
You
different.
always have your spot come back.
Some come back, and
Let's
I
try
like
and
that.
play
I
it.
think that's the
And
right
then
thing.
I think
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. I think it's
Championship
pretty
year,
cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of D1 schools like you enter the portal, it's like
Yeah, you see
It's like
it.
a-
you
Back
get nothing,
back.
see ya. Like
Yeah,
you're not
See,
coming
that's
back.
funny because I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of
it's big
D1
like that.
schools like
Yeah.
you go to coach say I want to enter the portal. It's like
But
Good to see you, thank
let's look at Keegan, for example, Binghamton,
yeah,
best player.
yeah.
Is that a similar D3 situation where if he goes to the portal doesn't get anything,
Well,
Can
no,
he come
because
back?
he's different. Because if you're putting up,
but it's the same situation? Best player on the team at a lower level.
but I mean, you look at where the transfer
I
portal.
think you're right because since you are the best player, like Jack Savarese, he is third in points. He's
Yeah, I think if you're the
one of
best
the best
player,
players.
yes. But I'm talking more like most guys who enter the portal.
No, like if you're talking ACC, Big Ten, like you're not coming back.
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
Like, let's just say, like, hypothetically, like, Garrett entered the portal last year, like,
Yeah.
and told Coach Myers, like, hey, I want to enter the portal. Like, if he gets nothing, he's not coming back.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
They're not like,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
isn't like, oh, go see what you can get. If you
But
find-
I even think if you're a second line midi somewhere, ACC, Big Ten, and you portal, I don't think there's.
Nah,
coming
I
back.
think most times the only way you're ever allowed back is if you're, like, literally the best player. Like, the
That's what I'm
national
saying.
Star. I don't
Yeah.
think if you're a second line midi, you're not coming back. Because
Yeah, no.
It's hard to say, you know, if you're the best player in your team and you want to enter
You have
the portal,
leverage.
you have leverage.
Yeah.
But, like, if not, like, if you're a fringe player and you enter the portal, like,
Yeah, it's
it doesn't
tough,
say much if
See
you
ya.
can just
Like we
let
had a
anyone.
freshman coming.
Put up
Sorry,
the
bro.
deuces. Yeah. We got a 5-star coming in. All right, now to new news. Take us away with the first one here.
Yeah, we got the Water Dogs finally signing a face-off man. We mentioned it before, and we kind of hit on it. They
Do we
didn't
think
have
that's a
face-off in the
staple?
first
And
3
we'll kind of
weeks.
fly through new news, but do we
Yeah,
think
he'll
that's a
stay.
staple?
He'll stay up there because, like I said, 40% is better than 0. Stathis obviously played at Denver under Tierney for a while. Tierney loves him. Tierney's
A
gonna
little
keep
bit
him
of nepotism
around.
there.
What?
A little bit of nepotism there.
What
I
is
don't know.
nepotism?
Nepotism.
I don't know as a
Hey,
23-year-old.
no, it's National Spelling Bee. Spell nepotism.
Oh,
Oh, I think I might.
this is
have
Miles
this
Dubois
low-key.
Baptiste
Spell
style on the
nepotism.
channel.
Producer Matt, can we get a fact check on
Yeah, get a
Mitch's
Wait,
accent?
say it. Nepotism. Use it in a
nepotism.
sentence, please.
The coach hired his old teammate, and it was nepotism.
Spell it.
NEPIT.
Huge letter.
ISM.
Did I get it?
I think he needs an O. He needs
Ah,
an O. He needs an
The
NEPO.
O.
We say
one letter off.
Nepotism.
Nepotism.
There you go.
And what does that exactly mean? Because obviously we heard that a lot with the Bronny LeBron situation.
Yeah, so basically, if this is a great situation for it, and the guy like Bronny is never getting on to the Lakers without his dad
Yeah,
on the team.
Yeah.
fact.
So it's nepotism that he's on the team, or that he's on the team because
of his dad.
Bronny's his dad, or
Yeah,
LeBron's his dad.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Let's stay on that real quick. Will we ever see any father-son duo in the PLL?
I love that question.
That's a great
I love that
question. And I think as of now, where college players have to play all 4 years, it's super
Well, they
unlikely.
don't have to play all 4 years. It's like you're not just going to drop out and not get
Hey,
your
but
degree.
maybe in 10 years we see one and
yeah,
dones.
that's right,
in the
that's
PLL.
right, that's
How
right.
Cool
There
would
is
that
no
be
rule.
If we see one and dones in college lacrosse and kids go to the PLL.
Yeah. How sick would that be?
Maybe down the line we'll see that. Yeah.
I mean, let's look at like a Ryan Drenner situation. The only reason I'm saying that is because he has a
He has
kid.
a kid, yeah.
I think his little guy's like around 5, 6, or 7.
He's training them.
He's
getting
training them.
ready.
But that would mean, Ryan would have to play for
like
he's got
15
15
years.
more
22.
years,
Yeah.
and it's obviously never going to happen.
With the
I mean,
talent
let's also
inside,
forget,
yeah.
like LeBron had Bronny when he was like 20,
I think he was even younger, maybe.
maybe
Yeah,
19.
but it's so hard too, and there's
So many things have to go right.
it's really tough too because first of all you got to play into that longevity age as a father. You got to be able to play deep. This league is so deep, it's so
Yeah.
talented. Like
And also,
it's
like,
re-
it's a
it's hard
different
to
type of
last past
sport.
28,
Like, you're talking
29
about
here.
basketball, where
Yeah.
I know it's contact. But you're talking about lacrosse, you're getting hacked up every game. Like,
Yeah.
it's obviously who's the oldest guy in the league. I know it was the goalie 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐋𝐀𝐂𝐑𝐿.
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
I know RP3's got to be up there, but
I don't know.
I don't
How
know
old
it.
is Dylan? Is Dylan Ward old or no?
No, not that
that
old.
old.
He's got to
Polsky,
be.
you know the oldest guy in the league?
Troutner, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know.
It was Rabel for those first
Oh,
2 years,
yeah,
right?
definitely.
He retired. Yeah, I don't.
I feel like
Brian
if there
Phipps.
was like a good decision for a guy that plays with his son, it's gonna be like a face-off guy or a goalie, like a specialty
Yeah,
position.
definitely.
You're not gonna be a running gun midi at like.
Yeah.
I mean, Rabel was. Just
Yeah, but I think it's
crazy.
tough to be a starter in such a technical specialist position at an old age like that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you got to be fast.
You got to be
Yeah,
fast
you
and
gotta be
move.
twitching,
So
ready to go.
I honestly don't really see it unless, and we don't want to get too deep in like the kid situation here,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
most of the guys in the lacrosse world are not having kids at
that
18.
early.
19,
That's
that
true.
early.
That's very true.
So it's a little different.
Ryan was a senior in 2017. They played against that Ohio State
Yeah.
team. Let's say he was 22. So we add on 7 years. He's 29. He's not playing until 46.
No chance.
No way. No way. Quick math. Ohio State.
Yeah, good.
Drip King. Taking his 5th year at Liberty.
Drip King.
Was this surprising?
I was
Absolutely.
shocked. Yes,
I was.
shocked.
This is probably the first time we've ever seen really a big name. I think he was All-American this past year.
Not this past year.
No?
No.
Maybe a year before that?
Yeah. I think
Go from
You're a face-off guy. He's phenomenal, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's been a great player for sure. I like this move for him. Honestly, I know he's
He's big into his faith. Obviously,
and
liberties.
you see it on social media, and I love that. And I
Yeah.
love that aspect of him, and I love how transparent he is with his faith and how outspoken he is about that. That's definitely a big part of my life. So I like kind of how he speaks about that. And I think it's cool seeing this after seeing your video on Liberty.
How crazy is that facility? Can we sit on that real quick?
Insane.
I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, they have probably nicer facilities than half of Division I lacrosse, I would say.
They got nice facilities.
A whole locker room, their
Helps.
own field
That's
as
what
a
happens
club
when you
lacrosse.
got D1 football right there.
Yeah, no, seriously.
I haven't
D1
heard
football
great
right
things
there.
about Liberty. My
Really?
one of my best friends from home, Ty Dick, he went to Liberty. He transferred to Rutgers after a semester.
Well, it's definitely not a normal school. Let's not.
I think he
keep
might
that
have thought
twisted.
it was going to be a normal school, but it is not. Like
I don't
your
think he
doors
really
got to
is
be
gonna
open.
When I was there, your doors got to be open.
Yeah.
You can't dance on the grounds.
Ty loves dancing.
Yeah, it's obviously
does love
it's obviously a dry campus. There's a lot of promise
No,
rings.
isn't no guys and girls on each side?
No guys and
no,
girls
no.
in allowed in dorm rooms is a big thing. Ring before spring. I know at least.
Do
three
we
of
have
the-
any players with rings or not?
Yeah, 3 of the guys were already married.
Who are how old?
They were seniors in college. Wow. Yeah,
That's like-
yeah.
That ain't for me.
Well, we might need to pause on there, Miles. James Hogan just passed 1 year with his girlfriend.
Shake hand, shake.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Are
it.
we bending the knee soon? Are we stretching that out?
A little dirty, get some dirt on it.
I think Miles might need to transfer to Liberty.
Oh.
He's been talking about getting a
maybe
ring.
that's a great take. Maybe I do. Should find a girlfriend.
What are
at
the
Liberty.
odds that happens? Stevens,
Stevens
5th
to
year, Liberty.
I wouldn't have eligibility. So that's,
that's
the thing.
right.
it's
So I
club
wouldn't-
though.
That's
What's the eligibility?
I mean,
Yeah,
if it's- I think
no, it's
NCAA
actually I
counts,
learned that
Is
when
it
I was at
NCAA
Liberty.
eligibility?
Even not JUCO, even MCLA is same
Yeah,
thing. Or
MCLA
sorry,
is
yeah,
definitely-
MCLA is
it's
same thing.
NCAA like
Yeah.
eligibility.
What if
Same
you're in
thing.
like one of those like beer leagues at Wisconsin? Like that's not.
Yeah, that's
NCAA.
different.
Yeah,
It's like
no.
chill.
Matt
Yeah,
Leah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out Matt.
Big
Leah.
shout out. No, that was super cool. How about something I posted on my story yesterday? The Spalina family, one of the biggest families
huge,
inside the sport of lacrosse.
huge.
Alexa Spalina, the #1 rated in the 2025 class, flipped from powerhouse Syracuse to Clemson.
It's so cool.
That was crazy.
Clemson is going to be a
A
powerhouse in girls.
Yes.
I mean, it's got the perfect mix of everything you want with.
It's
you
a
know,
6.
big-time
Again, I was
sports
there
down
a
south.
couple months ago.
Yeah.
The facility
It's the
is
best lacrosse
it's
facility, men or women in the country.
Yeah.
easy.
Debate-
easy,
no
easy.
debate.
No debate at
No
all.
debate.
They're
No debate.
lacrosse only too. Don't have a guys team. The club
The
team doesn't
investment
play
they've
there.
put in there
Their
is
their
crazy.
stadium's on the lake. I
Oh.
mean, they have a whole nutrition center. I
It's
mean,
just a
their own
no-brainer
locker.
to be the
It's a
number one
no-brainer.
girl, yeah.
And let's not forget too, like in the fall, you're experiencing Ohio State like football.
yeah.
Yes.
The weather's sick.
Yep.
I mean, the guys and girls are great looking.
And you're,
I mean,
you're
great
playing,
education.
You're also playing
Yeah.
in the ACC, which is the best conference in
It's
girls
it's a
lacrosse.
no-brainer.
So,
and
yeah.
and if I'm like a big wig coach, I'm looking to do something like that, you know, with bigger schools, right? Obviously, with girls lacrosse, they have the USCs. We know that with Dev, you know, we have these
Yeah.
schools.
Yeah.
But like, if there's an opening at a big school like Clemson in the future, and I'm a coach at a BC or Syracuse, I'm looking at that
Yeah.
job because I think that's the future.
100%.
So
And
cool, though.
I think it's cool the investment that Clemson's making in
Yeah.
women's lacrosse and lacrosse in general, and hopefully down the line maybe add a men's team. We'll see how it goes.
When did Clemson go D1 again?
I think it was-
this is their second year.
Yeah,
so.
second.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
It's insane.
You're getting the #1 girl. In
Yeah,
the
but
country.
it's not that insane when you really look at it because
Because it's Clemson.
It's
You're
Well,
Clemson.
you look at what they're offering, and you're like, come here. I know we don't have maybe the resume on field yet, but
Like,
we
let's
have
just-
everything.
You could help build
Like
it.
let's just
Yeah.
say that hypothetically.
And let's not forget, we don't know if she got any money, but with NIL now,
NIL.
Well,
There
let's
could
just,
have been a
let's
lot of
not
money
forget
thrown.
though. Let's not forget. Like, let's just say next year, Clemson had a men's team starting. Think about how many impact transfers you would have seen going there. How
Yeah.
many kids
Oh my
transferring
gosh.
would have went
Yeah.
there. So it's
Yeah.
like it's not that crazy because when you really look at the realm of college lacrosse, like there aren't that many like where it's like almost like checks the boxes of like sick campus, like
Yep.
fall football atmosphere. Like
Yep.
there's slim pickings there in the
Yeah.
D1 realm. So it's not hard. They're in the ACC, which is the best. So it's not hard that they would get like this good or
Yeah.
potentially this good fast.
Yeah.
definitely.
It'd
no,
be
it's
so cool
it's
to see them win a natty though.
oh, it'll be
Oh.
insane.
Yeah.
It'll be sick. It'll be sick. But let's hop into a little STX PLL Combine action.
Wow, yeah.
I
Let's
was
do
at the first ever STX PLL Combine in January. This was a sick event. The first of its kind, the best juniors in the nation, all competing at IMG. No coaches, no pressure, getting coached by PLL coaches and PLL players. Super cool event. I was there obviously capturing it.
That video
And-
was sick.
Yeah, it was a great time.
like those
And SCX signed 8 of their athletes.
Really?
And big name guys. Hoagie, why don't you read them out for us?
Yeah, so we got Josh Choice.
Josh Choice.
Josh,
Josh
good guy, did a
Choice.
video with
Josh
him.
Yep.
going to Hopkins.
Yeah, going to Hopkins,
Short
IMG
sticky
guy.
mini action.
Yeah,
got
He
that.
plays offense, so I don't know why they have him listed.
You got Jackson Mayer. Going
Jackson
to Penn.
Marr, great,
Jackson Marr.
great player.
Jermaine Anderson. going
Jermaine
to
Anderson,
UNC.
elite.
Fellow Buckeye, Dylan Firstman, going
Yes,
to
sir.
Columbus. Let's go.
Dr.
Wait.
Dylan.
Anthony Rayo.
That's a
going to
guy
UNC.
that I think is going to be a great player.
Freshman.
No, Anthony Rayo.
Rayo.
Rayo's the fellow Italian,
The
Long
Rayo's
Island.
pasta sauce.
Yeah. We're going to need a fact check there, Dr. Rayo. But honestly, Anthony is going to be a great player.
Miles loves it. That's hilarious. Maybe his family's in like.
No, seriously.
I don't know.
I mean,
If his family's in the
it's kinda like
Rayos-
the
if his
Entenmann thing.
family's in the Rayos business, Mitchell Pehlke's making a video.
Oh,
of
yeah,
pasta
yeah,
sauce.
yeah. Come on. Give me with the grandfather, Dr. Rayo. Patrick Kelly, Penn, LSM.
Drago.
Anthony Drago.
That's sick.
Brother going to Duke.
Yep.
Some family ties there. Then Chris Alexis going to Maryland.
Terp, College
a Sweet Lex Florida guy. They're stacked roster. Obviously,
Stacked.
we're seeing more of this stuff with the NIL.
Do
with
we
these
got
high
any
school athletes.
intel on what this NIL entails as a fellow STX guy?
I
yourself?
think it. I don't know exactly the details of the contract, but again, like I know, you look at all these schools
they're all
besides
STX
besides
schools.
Maryland.
Besides
Yeah, they
Maryland,
are.
You know, they're all
besides
STX
Maryland.
schools, so there's some insight there.
Yeah.
But I was at the PLL Combine, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
They're doing drills like the 40, like the broad jump,
Yeah.
like the vert.
The broad jump. Speaking of that,
I know.
can we roll the clip of
Is that the
Mitchell
one when you
Pehlke's
slipped and
broad
fell?
jump? Yeah. Can we
Oh
roll
my
that clip?
God.
Okay, let's say 40 combine. Let's just think of the NFL's 40 combine.
Yeah.
You're talking 40, you're talking bench, you're talking vert, you're talking broad,
Yeah.
you're talking cone drill.
Uh-huh.
Who has the best overall score between us three?
I think it's definitely me.
And what?
'Cause I'm faster
Go
than
drill by
you.
drill. Go drill by drill. Go drill by drill. 40-yard dash.
40-yard dash.
me. I've beaten Pehlke. I'll roll that clip.
I was in joggers
I'll
and
send you
some
the clip.
Nike.
No.
40-yard
Max 90s.
dash. I think I'm taking Mitch.
Dude,
I
you're
literally
giving me
beat him in a
cleats.
40-yard
Dude, you're
dash.
giving me cleats. You're
Yeah.
giving me
Yeah.
No,
Nick
you're
Myers
not.
over
I'm
there
telling
giving me
you
the
you're not.
stare down. Like I'm
Okay.
taking
If
that.
YouTube or Instagram wants to see this one more time, we'll do it again. but-
Yeah, this might have to be
40-yard
This
dash.
might have to be after the
All right,
show.
40-yard dash. I'll
Yeah.
run down the line. 40-yard dash. I'm going with Mitch.
No.
Okay. 20-yard dash.
20-yard shuttle, I think
Wait,
Miles
what is
will
that
get
again?
you.
What is that? Is that
20-yard
the
shuttle? I think it's.
that's the you start in the middle,
Yeah.
you go
there,
5,
there,
10,
there. I think
5.
I'm going with Miles on that one.
Okay.
Dude, have you seen Pehlke's COD?
60-yard
have good COD, yeah,
60-yard
you do.
shuttle. I'm going with Mitch. I've seen him run those.
But
at
see,
Ohio
I
State.
think
What's that?
It's like what is it? It's like 20 back, 20 like out to the 20.
I think
back,
so.
and then
Yeah,
out
yeah,
again.
yeah.
Okay.
We've ran those at Ohio State. I've seen Mitch.
The
run
3
those.
cone drill is tough. I think Miles would take that
I like
honestly
Miles
just
in
because
the
you're
3
smaller.
cone drills.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Vertical jump.
I have like a 28-inch.
I think you might take that.
I think
very-
Miles takes
Yeah.
that.
I got big legs, but not for
broad
the vert.
jump. We're going with Miles after what we saw.
Yeah, what we
Bench
saw.
press. Honestly,
Well,
I'm
we
probably-
can go over that.
Dude,
now.
you're not saying
I have
Miles
I have a
Dubois.
235
I might go with
bench.
Miles. Mitch, you were at the baby rack at Ohio State.
Yes, he was. What?
Yeah, he was
Well,
Wait,
what's your
No,
bench?
no,
How
no,
do you
no.
not know?
First of all, you're saying 230.
I've
This
done
is
245
What rack were
before.
you at?
I
But this
lost
is
weight.
this-
What rack were you at?
I was with the
No,
big
what
dogs. There's
number?
16 racks. 16 was with Hoagie and Garrett and Henry Blake. Number 1 was with Connor Camille,
All right, so
Greg
at Ohio State, we do. There's 16
That's
racks.
heinous talk.
So and they do it based on strength. So
Yeah.
the strongest kids at rack 1.
Yeah.
Me, Garrett Nielsen, and Henry Blake. Rack 16.
No, you were at the last rack.
Yeah,
Shout
literally.
out. It was
Oh.
No,
legit. It
and
was
sometimes we would call it the DAP workout, where like
Oh, when
you
you
would
guys-
look over rack 16, they'd just be dapping guys
Coach
up. Yeah,
Myers-
let's go. We're
Coach
like,
Myers,
"Hey, break
Coach
us,
Myers
what?"
called it the kid zone.
Yeah, the
God.
kid zone. The kid zone. Pehlke, 1 was the best, 16 was the worst.
What were you at the 11th rack?
5, 6.
You were not
No,
at
you
the
were not
5th
at
5 or
rack.
6.
You were
Hey,
top
No, that's
hey,
a lie.
Hey, pull some pictures.
You were
up.
not at
Pehlke is
the
a fresh-
5th rack.
I mean, dude, I pulled. Have you seen the body? Like
You were not, Mitch. You were not
Okay.
at the 5th rack.
I was at the 5th, 6th, maybe 4th. But let's look at the
That's-
bench
that's-
press.
I
The
see what you're
bench
saying.
press.
Bench press, it would be reps. But what's the reps? 185?
What they do in the league at 225.
Of
I don't
course,
think
we're
we
not
can do
doing
that.
225. What do they do?
I'm
in
taking-
the
I'm taking
NHL?
Miles
NHL,
at the
I think, is
bench.
185.
I'm taking Miles at the bench.
Yes.
I'm taking.
Okay, if we're doing, let's say 135 for reps.
135. Yeah, I could probably do 25 reps.
I'm taking Mitch at 135. I think you can lift more weight, but I think you can move.
Yeah, you're saying
Lighter
more
weight,
muscular
more, yeah.
endurance.
Like
Yeah.
I think if we're going heavier weight, I'm taking you. for
Producer
one
Matt,
rep.
you see these pipes. I mean, who you picking?
Mitch was
Give us,
at-
say it loud and proud. Who you picking?
Mitch was at rack 15. He was right next
We
to us.
need the MPLS crew at a weight room and get Dukes there too.
Dude, after the season, we might need to make an
we
actual
actually
video.
should do this.
Literally, MPLS squad combine edition.
Bring us to the combine. Let's go.
Jesus. Okay, honestly, no. Now Miles and I are gonna go back and forth.
Okay.
Who's better down this list between Dukes and
Oh,
Hoagie?
me all day.
I don't know though, Because on the
Dude, are
40-yard
you
dash,
kidding
I'm
me?
taking Dukes.
Dude, that's
No,
ridiculous.
no.
Dude.
We got to remember he played goalie.
Dude's a
Yeah, but
goalie.
dude, he's one of those guys
No, I
that
got you.
doesn't look
Yeah,
great.
bro,
Yo,
bro.
let's be real.
No.
He's one of those guys doesn't look great. He's got the high socks up to his knees. He's got the hokas
He
on.
broke his ankle in an alumni game playing goalie.
But he's probably drunk.
And he also was running a marathon too, so he
Yeah.
has endurance.
Dude, he's one of those guys.
Get
I would
outta
say
here.
this.
That's
This is one thing too
ridiculous. I
about
love you, Dukes,
great
but
college
I think
lacrosse.
if Dukes is here, he'd be like, no, I'm not.
Dukes is not beating me on
Yeah,
any
Dukes
of
would
these.
say like, no way.
Maybe he'd get me on like a vertical jump because he's taller, but like,
He'd beat you in team interviews.
hell no. He would not beat me in interviews. That's like the one I have on lock.
You think so?
Yes.
I
That would
know,
be
dude.
terrible.
Dude,
in those.
interviews are like my strength.
Wait, what's that last one? Medical exemption and
Injury
injury
evaluation. Dukes would fail that with
Yeah,
the
Dukes
ankle.
would fail that. Like, sir, you don't have a good water volume.
And you have a
in your-
peanut allergy, you cannot be in
Yeah.
the league.
I like that. But I think going back to the PLL Combine,
Yeah.
what are some combine drills you would want to see these young guys do?
I didn't say I wouldn't say.
Honestly, I would
drill.
like to see the bench press. I think that would be pretty
Yeah, that'd
interesting.
be
Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of measurables, like stuff like that, because I think a lot of that sometimes is genetic and guys just.
And
can lift
also,
more than
I would
others.
say too,
That's a great
playing
point.
Division I lacrosse, some of the best players,
Look at Xander Dixon.
Xander
yeah,
Dixon.
have like
Like,
the worst body
so
types, and
I-
also have the I don't want to say worst habits on the weekend, but some of these guys that are great.
to
No,
drink.
yeah.
They
So
drink
I
like
think I don't
fish.
think
Yeah.
bench press and those kind of things are really what you should measure a player on. So I
Yeah.
really don't like that stuff because like just because you can bench 245 doesn't make
Yeah,
you a
doesn't-
better.
I mean,
player.
look at a guy like Jackson Reed, a guy that was
Yeah.
a standout at Ohio
To me,
State, a captain.
The one thing I want to see, I would like to see like player interviews and X's and O's. Like I think it's important to see kind of what these kids' lacrosse knowledge is, or lacrosse IQ, like how they kind of think about certain situations, late game situations. Or I think that's a big thing that we don't know. A lot of teams
Yeah.
lacrosse IQ, especially watching a lot of high school lacrosse this year. I'm like, what are you doing making that pass? Like you can't make that
I
type
see what you're
of play.
saying. One of
Yeah.
the things that I like about how things that they did was the skills for the positions.
yes,
And like they had the orange, what was it, like along the pipe. They had the orange thing, and if you could get it like 6 inches into the pipe, you know what I'm talking about. They had those goals that had orange like along the pipes, and if you could get it into the orange spots, like you're hitting good spots. I think that stuff is legit.
yeah. I mean, that was just spray paint. That wasn't anything technology-wise, but
But like,
No,
you
I
know
like
I'm
what you're
saying?
saying.
Like,
I
those
like
types
that,
of
Miles, I do.
skills,
yeah.
like,
No. I would say at the end of the day, like the combine was skill based, right? You have Holman out there, you have Harrison, you have Bates, you have all these big name guys. Like, and again, I think the cool part for these guys is like, it's in January, so you flash back 6 months before that. It's September. They're getting committed.
Yeah.
So like, there's no pressure for these guys,
Yeah.
which is cool. They're
I
at
think
the
too,
best
though-
facility, IMG in the nation, and they're really getting better without having to worry like they do in summer ball.
Yeah.
And another thing I would say too, I think the PLL needs to add is like a college combine,
Yeah.
kind of like the NFL has, kind of where you can go and see players. Because right now it's like if you don't play at one of the top schools, like it's hard to get drafted and it's hard to even get a roster spot. There's a lot of talented players, especially me. I played at Ohio State for 4 years, and going down, playing at Manhattan this past year, like seeing those level of players. There's players who can play in that league, and it's been proven. There's guys, Graham Hossack went to Lindenwood, even like D3 guys who need recognition. I'm not saying that they should be on the roster right away, but like there's no opportunity for those guys to really like get an opportunity. Like I'm just quick example guy, 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐋𝐂𝐑𝐂 was on my team.
Yeah.
He's MAC player of the year the last 2 years. All-time leading scorer in Manhattan history, 4th all-time in MAC career points. And, definitely a guy who I know can play or compete at least at that level.
like, did he enter the draft?
He has no opportunity to even, that's a guy to me who at least should be on a training camp
Yeah.
roster, getting an opportunity to at least be seen. And there's an opportunity to have a combine. You can do it with the USA under 20 tryouts, bring him to the Team USA headquarters. Anyone can sign up. I could sign up if I wanted to, pay a fee, whatever, $50 to try out, and let the college coaches go there and kind of see the talent. And there's guys that got because there's a lot of guys who can play in this league who just don't get the chance to be seen. And I know it's hard to make rosters and there's not a lot of,
There's 8 teams.
there's 8 teams, but
Yeah.
there are kids who I think there's no opportunity unless you play at a higher level to really get on that roster.
I mean, one of my favorite things in the NFL is the combine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it would be cool.
Because you
like
see
that idea.
D2, D3, lower level guys in the NFL get drafted and become
like
multi-year
storylines,
stars
yeah,
and
so-
studs all the time. Like I think there should be an opportunity for you to showcase kind of those skills, and not everyone has. I'm not asking Brennan O'Neill to go show
Yeah,
up and
no.
play at that, but
Yeah.
like there should be an opportunity where it's like, look, like I graduated college, I played 4 years at I don't know Salisbury, even like Sacred Heart, Manhattan level guys. Like what? Let's see what they bring them to the field. You have 100 kids. You can do scrimmages, drills, whatever. And
I think it'd be cool.
There's a
And I
couple
think-
kids who can play at that level, and they
Yeah.
might pop coaches' eyes.
Yeah.
It's not even on a draft thing. It's more just like training camp roster, bringing them in, like seeing fits. I don't know. I think that should be something they add.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I'm excited for that. And obviously, it's coming up again. January is right around the corner, which is surprising to say. And I can't wait to see who kind of the next rising stars are in high school. Let's keep it rolling here. Let's hop into Mitch's mailbox.
I need a pliable pen after this.
PLL Nation, this is James out of California, and I'm wondering if you guys would ever think BYU could go D1, D3, or the dreaded D2. Thank you.
The dreaded.
Also,
If they
I want
could go,
to clean up the D2 slander. We were not clowning on D2, okay? Like, I know.
Oh no, I
Dude.
love clowning on D2.
Really?
Yeah. No,
Why
it's
is
like
that?
a whole thing with like no context lacrosse. I'm pretty sure that they like don't think D2 is real.
Dude, 85, 90% of D2 is not real. That's a fact.
Thank you. Let's go.
No,
Let's go.
Wait, I'm a nice guy. I love lacrosse.
Most high
Oh,
school,
we love lacrosse,
Most
but it's
high-end
just
high
funny.
school teams could beat 90, 80% of D2 teams.
No,
These
we
teams
lo-
are bad.
We love D2 lacrosse. It's just a joke.
The top, we're not arguing like the Tampas and them.
Okay, but last time the guy said, let's not forget the laughing let's not forget MCLA, the laughing stock of lacrosse. What's more the laughing stock, D2 or MCLA?
D2.
I mean, D2, dude.
Because you don't have to laugh at MCLA because you're not.
It's club.
Yeah,
you don't have to
club
laugh
lag.
at that. It's
Okay.
not NCAA.
All
So
right.
it's like,
Yeah.
Oh, his question: could BYU go D3, 2, or 1?
Well, I feel
What do
like
they mean?
This is a
Could,
question
like,
for you, man.
do they
'cause
mean
you don't
could they
know.
play against those teams, or is he saying could they like eventually go D2, D3, D1?
I think we have to clear some things up because one of my biggest.
What's he
DMs I
saying?
get-
though?
I think you're saying talent-wise.
I mean, I think Hoagie clears one up for the fans because I think one DM I always get is like, why are some of these, Florida's, USC's don't have guys programs?
Well, look,
Title
it's a Title IX most times, and two, it's finances too. Look, like
Yeah, that's true.
at a school like BYU, like why would they add D1 lacrosse? Like they don't need to add D1 lacrosse. Like think about who's going to that school, right? It's mostly Mormon people out in the
people, right.
West who are going
Yeah.
to go to that school, right? A team like Clemson, why do they add girls lacrosse? They get lacrosse is a prominently Northeast sport.
Yep.
You continue to grow. You get students coming down there. You grow your brand up north as a
Yep.
school, bringing students down there. So there's a reason to why did Marquette add lacrosse? Bring more awareness to that school to the East Coast kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, BYU, like, you're just going to add D1 just to play lacrosse.
Like, there's not many Northeast Mormons that are like.
Yeah.
going out
Like,
there
I
to
don't think
play.
them adding to D1 is going to really do anything.
Okay, let's take the opposite side of the spectrum,
Yeah.
which we don't exactly know what his question was, but BYU versus, let's say, the worst D3 team. Are they beating them?
The worst, like, how many
Is that even a
that's
question?
obviously
That's
they're
like
beating
Okay,
them.
worst D2 team.
Yes.
Yes.
Worst D1
like,
team.
say like mid-tier.
Worst BYU that just won the MCLA championship. Worst versus the worst
Hampton
D1 team.
Well,
Lacrosse is getting
Hampton,
their-
yeah, they probably beat Hampton, yeah.
They're probably getting rough.
But the problem with the bottom of D1 is, like, I don't want to say they're not real, but, like, no
It's a
offense.
huge drop.
No, but no offense, like Queens, like they're D1, but they were D2 2 years ago, and they were like a terrible D2 team. It's not
Well,
like
Queens was not even the worst in D1.
they were. Hampton was.
Hampton hasn't won a
Hampton hasn't won a
game.
D1 game.
Yeah.
Like I'm not down. Like, but like my point more so is like when you say, oh, they could beat the worst D1 team. Like to me, like some of the bottom teams at D1, like Hampton, like Queens, like they're not D1 teams.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like are they technically D1? Yes. Is their team talent wise and D1 players? Absolutely not. Queens was a not good D2 team who just now they're D1. Even like Linden was like they're D1, but they're not. if
How
that
good
makes sense.
was BYU's talent when you saw them?
They're legit. I thought they
Like
were
they're
really
like
good.
actually good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but
their program is so different, right? They are, a lot of them are Mormon.
They're also probably all
Also-
like old, like 25 years
They're,
old.
that
Maybe
is
like their
not
trip
true,
or
though.
whatever,
That's
right?
like more of a stereotype. 44% of them are married. So they definitely take it a lot more serious,
Yeah.
right? That school is a more serious school. You look
Yeah,
at like
yeah.
a USC, South Carolina, like that's your typical MCLA ball.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Beers,
Yeah, yeah,
play,
yeah.
let's have some fun.
Yeah.
But with BYU, like they took it so serious, and you knew down there in Round Rock, Texas, they were going to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's why Liberty's so good too. They're very similar schools. Even UVU, University of Utah Valley, like that team is Mormons as well.
Yeah, because you also got to look at like those schools, like who's going there. Like you go to South Carolina, you're there. Football games, William Bryce, having
Frat,
beers with the
yeah.
boys,
Yeah,
frat
yeah.
life. I love lax. I'll play on the side. Like
Yeah.
the guys at BYU, like you said, they're old, they're married, they're mature. They're like, you know what, I love lacrosse. I'm committing to it. I'm not going out getting hammered every week. It's like
Yeah.
a
If those
different
kids,
type of thing.
like the other schools, took it way more serious, they'd be so much better.
But
Yeah.
USC did win it in 2021.
Yeah, I mean you can win it because
Yeah.
a lot of who's on USC.
Yeah.
Talented kids from Maryland who want to booze. So
Literally. No, seriously though. Like,
yeah, no.
like,
let's
like
call it how it is. right?
if
So-
I'm a coach,
Eventually
if
talent's
I'm a
gonna win.
coach and I'm looking in NCAA ball, I'm going to USC because I would say talent for talent, they might have the best, but then you add in the off-field interaction.
You got to go to Calvert Hall and be like, all right, who here loves partying and college football? Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. I love that. All right, next voicemail.
What's up, fellas? Alex from upstate New York. My take's going off last week. I think the best team from any league could beat the lower tier of D1 teams. You know, whether we're talking Lenore Ryan in Tampa, RIT in Salisbury, even BYU in Texas, even OCC Nassau. I'm telling you, they could all beat the lowest tier, not even just like the worst team in D1, but my team played against that Massapequa team in 2019 that had Kenny Brower. I'm taking that team over a lot of D1 teams.
Wow.
That's the same conversation, though.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's just.
I mean, no, he brought high school into the
I
mix,
mean,
though.
that's just
high school? Is
He
that what
just
he's
said,
saying?
he said
guys,
Massapequa High School.
complete
Oh my.
delusional.
Well, okay,
That's
let's talk
stupid.
about
That
this.
is the stupidest
McDonough,
thing
let's
I've
just
ever
bring McDonough, you know,
This
close
guy's
guy.
delusional.
Sir, please listen. McDonough, 3-peat, potentially 4-peat, never seen in potentially the best conference in high school lacrosse, versus, again, let's just say
Delusion.
worst D1 team.
Yeah, but this is the same
This is the
point that
same
we just
thing.
said.
Well, dude, obviously,
Dude.
McDonough's not beating UVA.
I actually
Yeah,
don't
so,
even
like,
think McDonough
Hampton
could
is
beat
not,
Hampton.
Hampton is
What?
not.
I don't think McDonough could beat Hampton.
They would beat
dude.
Hampton.
They would
Hampton's
wax
not a D1
Hampton.
team. Hampton is, dude. Hampton is
Okay, then who?
Okay,
what
maybe.
D1
Maybe
team
Hampton.
like
Hampton-
UMass Lowell? I mean, these
not.
are
No, they're
D-
not
No,
beating
no,
UMass
no,
Lowell,
no.
dude. Mitch, these guys are physically way younger. They're at cap.
Wait. So
18
you're
years
saying they would beat Hampton, but not UMass Lowell? Those were the two worst teams in D1.
old. Dude, but
Okay,
Hampton,
Hampton
Mitch,
doesn't
Hampton
count. I don't think we
even
can count
count,
Hampton.
dude.
'Cause, like,
do you know how bad Hampton is? That's like
Well,
basically
UMass didn't win a game either, so I
Mitch,
don't
it
know what the
doesn't matter,
spectrum
dude.
is.
No,
Mitch,
yeah,
it
no,
doesn't
there's
matter,
difference.
dude. There's
They,
difference
I think
there, dude.
UMass beats Hampton by like 10 goals every year.
Yes.
But like, no, what was it? What was the worst team? UMass Lowell. Yeah, they're running. McDonough.
Yes,
they're
dude.
running.
There's a complete dude. Just because they go 0 and whatever in, D1 lacrosse, these kids, yeah, they're highly talented recruits. They're 18-year-old going up against high 20-year-old
Yeah,
guys.
yeah,
These
yeah.
guys practice
Every
day
day in the fall, too.
Fall
In the
ball,
fall.
like these guys, like dude,
Okay, then this is more of an equal question.
this guy's
D3.
What?
They can't practice every day in the fall. They probably practice the same amount, if not less,
Dude,
We have
than
like
high
20.
school.
We
The
have
high
like
school
21.
teams are not beating these teams, bitch.
Okay, let's say
They're
top
not-
20
No,
D3.
McDonough could play
Yeah.
in D3 a little bit.
Would they be top 30 in D3?
McDonough?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
besides
yeah.
the top like 20 in D3, it's like the top.
No, there's some teams that can play, but like I think McDonough.
Well, let's
would
look
be
at Stevens. They're a top 20 team, right?
We would beat McDonough by a lot of goals,
Yeah.
but like
But the difference between Stevens and like even the upper echelon of D3 is like there's a lot of tiers. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think once you hit like 20 in D3.
Okay,
it's
then
like,
this is
these are
a
pretty
great
bad.
debate then. What about a BYU versus Hartford JUCO Community College?
BYU versus Hartford JUCO. I honestly don't
well,
know.
this
I
is
mean,
like questions for you because we don't know these
Yeah.
teams. Like,
Yeah.
I don't watch.
Hartford is full of kids that maybe didn't get the best looks in the
Aren't
recruiting.
those teams like nasty?
The team's great. They won it
Yeah.
back to back. Like JUCO's.
I just think the main point here that we're struggling, and we can go debate day and night, is there's a massive talent discrepancy and
There's a big drop-offs.
drop off in the level of talent. Like these guys just say, like dude, like these guys got no idea the difference of like, what those bottom tier D1 teams at UMass Lowell. Like,
Yeah.
let's put UMass Lowell at D2 might be in the Final Four national championship every single year. Like just because
Yeah.
Lenore Ryan is when there's 6 teams in D2 or even competitive.
Yeah.
Like to me, it's the truth. Like I think some
Yeah.
people just talk out of their butts sometimes. Like, RIT.
the Hoagie I love right here.
RIT would be top
Delusional,
5 in D1.
delusional.
Like,
These
it's just
guys are
completely
delusional.
No, it's just the truth. And I've heard too much of this nonsense the last couple of weeks that it's just it's delusion and
I like it. I like it. Yeah, you've played at the Division I level. I think
You gotta
have-
sit 'em
yeah,
down a little bit.
You could say stuff.
And I'm
here,
not
'cause you
I'm
played
not
at 2
defending.
Division I level.
It's just
Look, I'm a nice guy. I'm just saying the truth.
it's just the D2 team could be like
How big was the difference at Manhattan to Ohio State?
Manhattan to Ohio State. I mean, there's guys. There was a couple there's guys on Manhattan who can play at Ohio State, and it's been true. Like Ohio State took a kid from Ryan Donnery from Quinnipiac who
Yeah.
we played against this year, who's going to be at Ohio State.
Yeah.
That's a fact. I think it's the depth of players
So
different.
where do you think the drop off is from like 1 to 50?
the depth? No, it's you're talking about like between Ohio State and Manhattan.
No, I'm saying like you talked about there's a big drop off in Division 1.
Yeah.
So there's 76 teams. Where do you think the drop off is?
In terms of what? Like what teams like D3 could beat? You're saying?
Like,
I
yeah,
just
just
think,
like
like,
when does it like really drop off?
Drop
You're saying,
off.
like,
Like if I was looking up, like let's see, like
see if your
this
computer
past
can
year.
turn on here.
Yeah, it turns on.
Oh,
But
let's go.
then, I think we looked at it a couple weeks ago. Towson was like 30 or 40 or something.
I think they were like, yeah.
Maybe 50. No, I think they were 50.
I think Bucknell was like.
Like
50
if you're
or
looking at like the lacrosse, like where it got teams finished this year, like that's.
Well, what was Manhattan finish?
We finished 35th in the country.
And what did Ohio State finish?
22.
Really? Ohio State was 22?
Yeah.
Good for them.
Well,
Better than I thought.
Oh, whoa.
I thought Ohio
Is that a
State.
jab?
Low key, yeah.
so
I
like
thought they
if
had a
you're
worse
looking
year.
like
Oh, here we go. It's on the board.
Look up.
Zoom in here, producer Matty Ice.
so like if you're looking at the rankings here, like scroll down, keep going down, like
Go all the way to 50.
so look, Ohio State's at 22. Manhattan, where's Manhattan? 36. So we finished 36 in the country.
50's Marquette.
Marquette
So
had
like
a
look, like
horrible year.
so like you look like high school teams are not competing with Marquette. Like
No.
they're getting blown.
No,
out.
and
Think about
I
this.
never
Think about
said
this.
that.
Marquette's D midi.
No, but what that kid said was not the lowest teams. He said the lowest tiers. There's really no like lowest tiers. Like Siena, I played Siena. Siena is smacking those high school teams,
Yeah.
dude. So like even like teams like
Yeah.
like NJIT, like they got old guys like Hank Bethel playing defense. They're gonna beat those teams. You don't think
Yeah.
Hank Bethel can handle a top recruit
Yeah,
on like
yeah.
so like
Yeah,
I think
you're
that's
right.
the problem we go with here. And even like Detroit Mercy, they finished 69th, Mitch. We play Detroit every year.
Yeah.
They weren't a great team. We were never we were down at halftime sometimes to them. Like they were not like a total like this team
Yeah.
couldn't catch and throw.
UMass
Okay,
Lowell
so-
didn't win a game again.
So out of those teams,
And I played
76
Wagner, too. I played
76 of
Wagner,
those
too.
teams,
Yeah.
which of them do you think a McDonough could beat?
Hampton, that's it.
Hampton. And that's it.
Not Queens, not
think it could be a
Lindenwood,
close
not
game.
UMass
Maybe a close
Lowell.
game.
It'll be a close game, but I can't definitively say. The only team I can say definitively if I think they could beat is Hampton. And they could lose to Hampton too.
Okay.
But like
No, they couldn't lose to Hampton.
I don't think but I think that's the only teams. Hampton's the only team where you could be like, I think they could really beat them. Like Lindenwood and Queens, I think would be a close game, but I can't say definitively they would beat them.
I mean, a good point is like we have a kid from Marquette that was like a D midi there and like didn't really play that much, or like he played there, but he's like D midi. Comes into Stevens' as top 5 scorer at midfield. You know what I mean? So it's like
And let's look at guys like teams like Wagner. Like Wagner's finished 72nd in the country. They had
Yeah.
2 kids transferred to Ohio State this year. Eli Fisher was an
Yeah.
All-American. So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
they got guys. Like,
It's so hard to tell.
it's hard to tell, and like it's cute.
always gonna be
it's cute. It's pretty. It's nice to say that like all these teams. No, it's true that they can beat them, and it's easy to knock them down. But like, let's think high school kids. Yeah, they're going to Virginia. They're going to
Yeah.
Syracuse. They're going to Maryland. These kids are 17, 18 years old. They're not as strong. They're not as smart. They're not as weak. They don't have the experience. They don't play as much. It's
you have good points, James.
Good
You
points.
have
I
good
like
points.
that, James Hogan. Next voicemail.
gets me fired up.
Oh, we have
Hear me out. Ankle sock revolution. Scratch that no-show sock revolution. Get rid of all this crew stuff. No-show socks, that's the move, I'm telling you.
Dukes would have a field day on that.
Yeah.
No,
I've been long on
I like
on-
these.
on,
I don't know. These
low
are not
socks.
no shows. I like the lows.
Those are just low.
The no shows are too much for me.
No shows are too thin. I don't think it's really healthy.
Too thin. You're gonna get a lot of ankle blisters. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I'm big on low socks.
Oh, is he saying no show as like the ones that like grab?
Like
the
he's
bottom
saying,
of
wear
your
what
foot?
Mitch wears.
Yeah.
What is that?
These are
Like
no
you can't
shoes.
see.
can't
It looks
them.
like he's not wearing socks.
But they're like ours.
There are.
No. You guys have low socks.
We have low. No show.
Oh,
is
he's like wraps the like bottom.
Yeah.
of your
Yeah.
foot.
These are like.
Yeah.
not
So,
wearing
like,
my
it looks
sneakers.
like
Does
he's-
he like those?
You don't wear no show socks.
No.
No,
You're
he
telling
said,
me you're going on a date.
He said those are the new wave. I was like, heck no, Miles. Ew, thank
No.
you.
No.
These are
I
the-
think
these are
no
the
show.
wave.
I think no show socks are fine. I mean, there's no difference between.
Mitch used to wear the fun fact. Mitch used to wear the Vans no show socks.
my God.
And they like would have the bottom where they have the traction. And they would like stick to your shit. Your
I
crusty
hate- I
ass
hate-
feet would be sticking out
I
of
hate
those.
James Hogan.
You know
Wait.
what the
This
Vans
is
say,
serious
man?
though.
Yeah.
If you're going on a date, you're gonna be rocking some sort of low shoe.
I wore Nike Elites on my first date.
And he has a girlfriend.
I
and we
didn't
don't.
actually. It was a joke.
But if you're on a date, you're rocking some low shoes. You got to be rocking no shoes.
No, you rock these.
Yeah, you like these Nike Dry
dude, you're
Fits.
not rocking those.
Yeah, he is. I'm with Miles on that.
Grandpa New Balances with low socks
These
to
are
a
good
date.
shoes.
You're not wearing that to a date. You're
Oh
going
no,
to get
absolutely not.
dinner with a girl. All right, you're going to get dinner with a girl. What's your outfit? Give it to us right now.
Reebok no shows, depending on where we
So
go.
he's wearing no show.
Or no, not no shows. This is what I call no shows. I didn't realize
Those
that
are
These
there's-
are
low
lows.
socks. Okay,
I'm
what
wearing
shoes
Reeboks
you
with
wearing?
the lows, and then it kind of blocks it. Like you know the classic Reebok frat shoes.
I hate
Oh, is that
those
bad
shoes.
name?
I hate those.
What?
I mean, you're just like
What?
What's bad aim?
no.
Bad
it's
aim.
Hoagie.
What is that?
It's a streamer.
Oh.
Just don't.
Jinxie, everyone knows.
Who's bad aim?
Bad.
You gotta roll. You gotta roll it.
Bad aim.
Bad aim.
Whatever.
That's a clip.
But you're right. You got those New Balances. I hate those. Or the Reeboks. The Reeboks.
Oh, the Reeboks. Yeah. So then I'm running Lulu pants.
Backwards
You're
hat.
going pants.
Yeah. Oh, you had to go pants.
See, not
You
with
don't
these
have to go
legs.
pants.
Yeah, you have big nice
Pants
legs.
might be
These
trying
calves
too
need to
hard.
be hidden
Yeah.
away.
All right. Then what shirt you wearing?
Depends.
Plain
Where are
tee
we-
like this?
Can you give me a
All
place?
right. You're going to Carbone in New York City.
Oh, I don't have the funds for that. But,
And she might be paying.
oh, okay.
Mitch
All
went there with
Rich
Emily
lady.
Cole.
Really?
Please
He
continue.
did. He dropped $400.
No, shut up. Shut up. Go. Just answer the question.
Okay. Well, I don't even.
You're going to Carbone. You're not wearing Reebok frat
Well, first
shoes.
of all, that's not fair though, because you can't walk into Carbone with no pants, basically.
No. Oh, sorry. Carbone, you have to wear pants.
Yeah.
You do, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're going to Carbone. You're
No,
getting
let's
Italian.
just say you're
drinking
going to, like-
Aperol Spritz next year when you're
Is
21.
that like a loafer's place?
No, it's not that.
I don't know
It's-
what it is.
Like to me, like when I went to Carbone,
Oh,
You
God.
took your lady to
Don't
Carbone?
say
Yeah.
it. This is a heinous take.
I was
This is probably
rocking.
the worst
I was
take.
rocking. Why is that a take?
Just go.
I was,
Jordans or
I was rocking khaki pants
Yeah, that's good.
with my New Balance 550s
Okay.
and Henley. Perfect fit.
So
Yeah, that's
sneakers.
good.
Okay, yeah, I have Henleys too.
That works.
I actually just purchased some of those.
Yeah, I think you could wear a plain tee too. Not that one because it's a little athletic looking, but
Yeah.
you could wear a plain tee.
Yeah.
Okay.
interesting.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks.
No-
Everyone out
No,
there.
no
now you know
frog
what to wear to
merch though.
Carbone.
No frog merch.
Miles is taking his fifth year liberty again.
One fun fact I did. This is actually interesting, and I want to get your guys' opinion
Yeah,
because
let's
this
hear
is
it.
something
Yeah, let's hear
I've
it.
really
Yeah,
shared with the
let's
public.
hear
it. Okay.
I went on a date last year.
No.
At Ohio State.
What?
When I was back.
With who?
This is crazy that he's saying this, by the way.
Well, it's not that crazy.
With
Kinda
who?
crazy.
Somebody. And
Wait.
No,
Wait.
listen.
When was
listen,
this?
Let him keep going.
No, listen,
Let him
listen.
keep
Because I
going.
want to hear your fact. I want to hear your thoughts
yeah,
on
yeah,
this.
Yeah,
I was filming at the football game,
yeah.
and I was like, I had to wear my swag, right? So I
Oh,
had my
yeah.
Letterman
The
jacket,
Letterman
my
jacket,
joggers,
classic.
and like shoes that match. And after the game ended to when the dinner was, I didn't have time to change, so I rolled up to a nice steak dinner in my Letterman jacket
they think you're
after I
like,
graduated.
Oh.
And it's kind of like a
Wait,
staple.
this was
like-
after you graduated?
this was last fall, yeah.
Oh, when you went to Penn State.
Penn State, Ohio State, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was rocking my Letterman jacket at a nice steakhouse. And there's two sides of the spectrum. Like, this guy is a terrible human. He's graduating, still rocking his Letterman jacket. Or this guy's, like, totally owning it.
Or it's just you look over there and, or are you saying
But,
for
but,
her? Or
but I'll
other
say
people?
this was the
Sorry
worst
to,
part.
sorry to not be speaking here. I'm like my brain is.
But,
really
but this was
wondering
the
who you
worst
went on a
part.
date with.
She
Yeah.
was wearing, like, a nice black dress. And I'm there in, like, freaking varsity
Can I get a
Letterman
hint?
jacket.
I'm not going to say the name on the camera.
You don't know her. You don't know her. Just answer the
Is
question.
she an athletics worker?
Answer the
Are you on the
question.
dating apps? Are you on Raya?
Answer the question.
I didn't even listen because I was thinking about who it could have been.
Don't even think about it. This is a question about my outfit. This isn't even talking about the beautiful girl I was with.
Oh, a little shout out, beautiful girl. Sending this
Just
to
answer,
her.
answer the question.
Who was it?
All right, next voice minute. I thought this would be a
Dude.
fun question.
No,
you guys like
obviously you
No,
can't
this
wear
is
that. What are you
major
wearing?
breaking news
This
here.
is terrible. Obviously, why are you wearing a Letterman jacket? I'm the kid.
No,
next to
no,
you
no,
on
no,
the-
no, no. I'm a fan of the Letterman jacket. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, hey.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude,
Hey,
when
I'll
you go
tell
to a prestigious school like the
I'll tell you what.
university,
Well, they
you
also don't
sleep in the
I'll tell
thing.
you what. Me and Mitch wore the Letterman jackets to our breakfast before lacrosse
day.
games every year.
Letterman
On the
jacket-
ruckus. Think about
and
this.
we would always get chirped for
it's
it.
February.
Oh, God, you guys are
I
embarrassing.
have the ruckus helmet on. Hoagie's in the back.
I'm
We're
yep.
going private part to butt.
Yep.
He has his hands around my stomach, and it's 30 degrees,
so let
and
me
we're
just
going.
put this into to preface.
Can you go in front and demonstrate how we
Yeah,
were?
yeah,
No,
Yeah.
do not do that.
Yeah, but no,
For
quick
the
prep.
sake of
So,
everybody.
Ohio State, before every game, we go to this place called the Faculty Club. Awesome
Yeah.
breakfast
Awesome
buffet. They have like
breakfast.
hash browns, bacon, sausage, oatmeal, fruit, eggs, everything, pancakes, French toast.
Yes.
Like, it's actually like good. It's not like
Yes.
catered. It's legit.
Wait, is this free food?
Yeah, it's free.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
before every
nice.
game. Yeah.
God, I wish I had
So me and Mitch would go every time, and you know, we got to get over there. Mitch didn't want to use his vehicle, and we would do Bible study with our man Tom Rhodes, so we would go
Yeah.
a little early. So
Good for you.
we would have to go 30, 40 minutes
nice
early
guys.
for that before breakfast. So we couldn't hop in with like Zuper Garrett, one of our roommates.
There's also
so-
tradition too. You can't break tradition.
it's tradition. Tradition. So me and Mitch would take the ruckus there, but you got to think like we're doing this in January, February. Like it's cold. Mitch is going like 30 on
Dude,
the
I have my
ruckus.
gloves
Your
on.
hands, dude. are,
I
like,
have the button
frostbite.
ripped off. I have a helmet
So we
on.
started wearing the Letterman's jackets because not only did we
'Cause
think they were cool in tradition, but those like the warmest jacket you'll
warmest
ever
thing.
get.
Yeah.
So we'll rock that over there. And Mitch would get that ruckus going, and I would sit behind him and like hold his
grabbing
hips, and
hips?
he would go.
No,
zoom,
he's
zoom,
grabbing
zoom.
stomach. He's
Yeah.
like this.
Dude, you got to. You're gonna
Dude,
fall
you're
off
going
that
through the
thing.
cities of Columbus, dog.
Miles.
You gotta be
Yes.
ready to go.
Miles,
I'm not gonna say much. But
where do we think that ruckus is? Too, we know it got stolen.
Ruckus got
that's
stolen.
actually insane. I think I would cry if my.
Well, I
Ruckus
did
got
cry. And
Bro,
there's
there were
really
days
nothing.
where
I actually
your
got a
ears-
call last week from Columbus Police being like, hey, is the Ruckus still stolen? I'm like,
No
yep.
way.
And they're like, all right, we're still on the hunt. I'm like, you guys
That
are
thing's
finding it.
gone.
That thing's in like 18 different pieces.
Yeah.
Shout out to our boy Steven Zoop too. He got his car stolen out of our lot.
Yeah.
We woke
crazy.
up one morning,
Dude,
on a-
someone got into his car,
with a
started it with no
screwdriver.
key.
With a screwdriver.
Like,
So we
jammed
wake
it
so
in
we
there.
wake up the next morning. You know, you think game day Ohio State. Everyone's God knows where. Guys are at different people's houses,
It's in
passed
the
out
fall,
couches.
like
Fall,
football
like game
game
day,
day.
like you know what I mean. Like
You just
you
think
wake
he's
up,
gone,
you don't
yeah.
see your full housemates till like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Dale's passed out till 6 sleeping.
Yeah,
Gary
yeah.
was at Sarah's house over
Makes
there.
sense.
Like,
Yeah,
you know how
yeah,
it goes.
yeah, yeah.
Classic,
He was
classic.
trying to kiss
So we
some
wake
girl.
up and Zoop's car was kind of like the communal car. I'd say like
everyone would take
everyone
it.
would
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah,
And you wouldn't
yeah,
even have to ask Zoop. You're like, oh, I gotta go get a haircut. Like take Zoop's keys, go.
Yeah.
So we wake up. We're trying to get breakfast. I want to say it was like me, Gary, maybe one other person. And, usually we barge into Zoop's room. He's not there. We're like, all right, whatever. He's not there. We'll take his car. We go out. We grab the keys that's always on his nightstand. We're like,
Yeah.
open the door. His car is just like not there. So we call Zoop and we're like, hey, Zoop, like, did you like take your car out?
Like,
know what
do
I
you
mean?
have
Like,
the second
whatever.
key?
You have the
You have the
second
spare
key. He's
keys.
like, there's no spare key. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, there's only one set of keys. I'm like, well, I'm holding them. Your car's not here. He's like, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, it's gone. So we filed a police report. His car got stolen. It was gone for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We were like, oh my God, it's gone. Zoop gets a call. The police like come to our house, like gives the whole thing. The dance girls live next to us. They said that they saw the car get stolen. Didn't say anything till like the next day. They're like, oh yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, the dance girls
Yeah,
that live
yeah,
behind
yeah.
us. They said late night someone came in with a screwdriver and like drove off
They
with it.
saw that?
Yeah, they saw it, but I obviously they're not going to stop them. I understand that, but they should have maybe texted, hey, car's getting stolen, whatever. Car's stolen. 2 weeks later, we get a call from the police. Car got stolen. It's in an impound like 2 hours away up north in Ohio. Me, Zoop, and Garrett drive 2 hours north to go pick it up from this impound.
Yeah.
We grab it. It's filled with McDonald's. Like, it smells like God knows what.
Yeah.
now.
Oh,
And
we
Zoop's
never-
going to connect. This is the best part. Zoop's going to connect his phone and listen to music. And like sometimes it syncs to your phone
Yeah,
automatically.
yeah.
It goes connecting to Little Pop Out's iPhone.
Dude, and we look him up. He's like a rapper.
He's a rapper in South Carolina.
Yeah.
And he stole the car.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Great
So,
story.
Interesting. All right, well, that's going to really wrap up Mitch's mailbox again. Call the number on your screen. Leave your wildest lacrosse take for us to talk
Fantasy.
it out on here. And now let's keep it going with fantasy. You guys can get involved in fantasy. Download the PLL app. Hit the MPLS tab. And go up against our picks. These are our picks as a cast
Heinous
each
week.
week.
I'm not going to lie.
Terrible.
Terrible week.
Embarrassing.
Couldn't have gone worse.
Yeah,
honestly.
really couldn't have.
I mean, 47 out of a projected 126.
Yeah, that was bad. That was
That
bad.
is flat out bad.
What's the worst, total score to projected score for a person? Is it Sowers or is it O'Neal?
I mean, let's just say this.
11 to 37.
Let's
and
just say
then
this.
3 to 11's obviously.
Brennan
Sowers.
O'Neal was projected 41 points before the week, and we only got 47 between the whole lineup.
yeah, that's
Oh,
pretty
you were
bad.
saying. Oh, got it.
Yeah.
So
that's bad.
tough week, but we'll bounce back.
And again, it goes back to the overarching point. In this league, it's so hard to
So hard.
succeed.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why, I was thinking about this on the way in today. It's going to be so interesting now in this new pro lacrosse league era, how many years these guys actually play for.
100%.
Right? You look at some of these legends that are getting the gold jackets at Hopkins, and that's coming up here in August. But a Brian Splina or even a Mark Milne, I don't know exactly how long these guys played, but these guys are definitely not playing as long
I think
as
a
they
lot of
used to,
guys
guy.
would like to play as long as that, but they can't just with the new talent. in the league.
There's so much talent.
Yeah. So.
So.
And now I feel like everyone too, maybe in the MLL days, some guys who were studs in college just didn't even entertain it. I feel like everyone now, if you're good enough to play in the PLL, you're playing.
Yeah.
How old is Miles Jones?
Miles Jones?
Graduated Duke in
32,
2015,
33?
I think.
He's 30. Yeah, 30.
Graduated Duke, I think, in 2015. So that would put him
Probably
at
on famous birthdays.
31.
31. You on famous birthdays, Mitch?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Duke in 16, so 31.
31. Okay.
31.
We'll see.
I like that.
First team.
And obviously, we can't pick our lineup yet
Nope.
because we're filming on a
We'll get
Sunday.
that thing on there, though.
It'll be on the screen though as you guys are watching. Pick'ems week 5.
Pick'ems.
Obviously,
I'm him.
Mannequin
Mitch is in
Dubes
first
is not
place.
here. He's in Vegas doing God knows what. But we're praying for you.
Yep.
And up in Harvard,
Miles
Mitch
still
Pehlke's-
talking that trash.
Pehlke's going to be up there in Boston doing a little on-site show, so I'm excited for that. But week 5 pick'ems. Let's go down the rankings real quick. Pehlke had a terrible week. I'll own that. I'll run
You had
into
the
it,
worst
not run
week in
away
the
from it.
cast.
I know. Kind of surprising. I'm sitting at 8-8. Hoagie's at 6-10. Miles
10 and 6.
10 and 6.
6.
Dukes 7-9. Miles, quick question for you.
Yeah.
Is this a little bit of luck?
No.
Or is this
No,
do we know the game?
No, I actually know this game. PLL. I've watched every single game pretty much since the first game, and I have knowledge. And hit me up if you guys want picks. I won't be making picks, but I can't gamble because I'm under 21.
You're a nice guy.
If you want to call me, I'll let you know some inside information because I am him.
I'm not gonna lie, but I'm looking at this week, and I think it's pretty straightforward in my opinion. Now it won't go that way, but
Yeah.
Now that makes me want to take the Redwoods.
Yeah. Well, I think we do this. Dukes' picks will be on the screen.
Yeah.
He's gonna text us them, so obviously he's not in here. Let's go down the line. Miles, Hoagie, then myself.
Oh, I hate going first.
I'll go first then. We'll switch it up.
We'll switch it up.
We'll
We can
switch it up.
start.
Game 1.
Okay.
Redwoods versus Boston Cannons. I'm going Cannons.
Cannons all day. The Redwoods are a disaster.
Cannons. I'll take them.
That was a little bit of thinking.
Well,
there.
yeah, because
What
they're
are
going
you
to do the
nervous
double
about?
header. They're going to do the double header, and
But it's first game.
yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm
And it's
thinking-
July 4th weekend.
July 4th.
Yeah, that's true.
The Capitals. I don't know. They like July 4th.
Yeah. Yeah.
Red,
All right.
white, and blue.
Second
Homecoming,
game,
yeah.
Atlas versus Outlaws. To me, this is one of the harder games on here. But I think with the loss the Outlaws just received, they're going to bounce back. I'm
The Atlas,
picking
you mean?
I'm picking with the Atlas loss, the bounce back, I'm picking Atlas.
Yeah, I'm taking Atlas
I
too.
don't see them going 2 weeks in a row with losing.
Yeah.
Let's go Atlas.
Atlas.
Damn, we got the same picks.
Game 3, I'm going Whip Snakes.
I'm going Whip Snakes too.
Oh, I really wanted to go the Whip Snakes too.
You got to
I told you. I said I think it's pretty easy.
Yeah,
Hoagie, I think you might need to start making some moves here. You might need to pick a Duke situation.
I'm good. I'm not
Whoa,
taking the
you're
Archers.
good.
I'm not taking.
You're
the
good,
I love
huh?
the Whip Snakes though. I love the Whip Snakes, but just for the sake of the show, I'm up 10-6. Let's go.
He's
the
gambling a
Archers.
little bit.
the
Let's
Archers.
go. Fun fact on that. Actually got a DM. I woke up to a DM from Matt Rambo saying
Matt Rambo's chirping you in the
saying,
DMs.
damn, 2 weeks in a row, you don't like us anymore. I'm still a Whip Snakes guy for heart. Born and raised, not raised, but born in Maryland. So I'm a Whip Snakes guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want that to go unnoticed. In the last game, the Dogs versus Cannons.
Oh,
Best game of the week.
I'm going Dogs. I'm
taking
going Dogs.
I'm taking Water Dogs.
I
as
feel
well.
Coach T
Dude.
is going to stick with.
What?
I'm gonna go Water Dogs too.
Yeah, you got to take Cannons.
You got to take Cannons.
I
You
know,
got to switch
maybe-
it up.
Yeah, should I just do it?
When you have
Yeah.
the lead like this, yeah.
Dude,
When
yeah,
you
let's
had
go,
Notre
let's go,
Dame
let's go, let's
chirping
go.
you go Cannons.
Let's go, Cannons. Let's
Cannons.
go.
All right.
Fade out the picks.
Fade out the picks. And that's really going to be it for episode 8.
Let's go.
A little bit fun episode, a little bit
Great
off script,
show.
which I like. I think this was fun. Obviously, not having Dukes here, a little bit different.
Mannequin's back.
The mannequin
And now the
is
comments,
back.
does that mannequin stay?
Yeah.
Does it stay?
Does he start ripping
Comment
the
below.
mannequin comments
Yeah.
on him?
Does he?
Hey, comment below. Comment below.
Did we like the show better without Dukes? Is the mannequin better? I don't
Yes.
know.
Hashtag
I guess we'll see.
mannequin has been brought
We got the
back.
fun fact though.
We're the fun fact.
And this was Professor V.
Professor
on the fun fact,
V
too.
on the fun fact. Why don't you read out for the fans?
Rob,
this could be the
so-
craziest fun fact we've ever had on the show.
So Rob Pennell this past weekend against Denver Outlaws was held without a point for the first time in a professional game since June 7th of 2014. That's
What a
over
fact.
10 years ago.
What a fact.
10 years ago,
Without a singular
RP3
point.
has, oh my God.
Had a
That's why you
point
watch-
every game in the last 10 years.
This
At
is why
least
you
one.
watch MPLS all the way to the end.
Yeah,
Right
yeah,
there.
fun facts. There we go. We'll see you
Wow.
guys next Wednesday.
Let's go.
Peace.
Peace.